I say every day. It's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.
We're not qualified.
Explorers in the further regions of experience.
I understand. Did you not listen? Then the hell with you. Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 160th episode of Screaming Into the Void, the show where we talk about whatever the hell we feel like, and boy howdy are we gonna. My name is Samuel the Infamous, and joining me today we have Caucasian Sasquatch.
Yes, I'm guilty. Can we move on
Yes,
to the
yes.
sentencing portion of this problem?
Right. I mean, at some point, I don't know if I there might come a day when I stop introducing everybody who shows up every fucking week, but joining us today, joining us every day. Fucking come on. We also have with us Abe.
Yo, what's going on?
What's up, man? So we do have some stuff to talk about today. There have been some events this week that have been kind of sitting on. Did a Whispering in the Dark stream earlier this week, which we might actually, the video there I was unable to get to play properly, so we may try and bring that up again today. If we do, I will, after the show, post the link to the video in the description below because it is a YouTube video and all that stuff. But I don't think dude will have a problem with us playing it. I just, I want to credit where credit's due. Which, by the way, you guys got to start reminding me to do that with Gabriel Torch's videos because, like, whether or not we agree with her or we even like her or whatever, we are using her content. So I need to start remembering to credit her.
I don't mind crediting people that I point and laugh at. That is fine.
Right. But I need to start putting that shit in the
Screaming terror.
Description. Yeah. And that's entirely on me. That's because I'm lazy and forgetful. That's no reflection on anybody else.
Easily done.
But
do better. Get good, scrub.
You'd think after 3 fucking years I'd be better at this shit, but mostly, man, I just copy and paste and like tweak a few things.
Oh yeah, if I see it copy paste, it's probably not going in the description.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, dude. The problem is I have a tendency of waxing philosophical. So if I sit down to start typing out a description 37 pages later when the dragon takes the kingdom, it's just gone too far, man.
Right.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that said, we are currently live on Twix, Rumble, and 2 separate YouTube channels, Caucasian Sasquatch and Samuel the Infamous. If you're in any of those places, drop a comment, let us know you're here. I'm going to say hello to the chat real quick before we get into the thing. And that'll be that. That'll be the show. So first up, we got American 101. Welcome in. Yuan T. Hello. Good to see you. John Denicola, as always, brother. Good to see you, man. We've got scroll down. Hey, Scotty Waddles. Hey now. So as people come in, we will bring up chats on the screen so that you see that we see you. If I miss any, again, entirely on my fault. I'm kind of running a bunch of, I don't have my fucking regular producer here today or next week. So it's going to be a little bit of a mess. My apologies.
Don't tell them it's wrong until they figure it out. Otherwise, you're blowing
you'd think I'd be able to handle all this shit because I actually produce for another channel. So
Yeah. You should be part of the repertoire by now, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I'm good at it. I'm just not good at doing that and hosting at the same time,
Yeah.
I don't help either. I make it difficult.
Right?
It's a lot of shit to juggle, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. And, like this is something that I think I was talking with my mom about the other day. I was like, most people think when you do streaming like this, right, that it's just press go live and start talking into the mic. And for the most part, that's true. But there is more shit to it if you want any kind of production value.
Yeah.
Okay. Production value aside, and yes, it definitely has its place. The amount of thinker input, brain sweat that goes into this type of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And if you've never sat down on a panel with a bunch of people that disagree with you and stood flat-footed on your square and walked away knowing you acquitted yourself well and felt the exhaustion that can come from just sitting here. Oh, it's crazy.
Well, not even just while you're live, man. Like we do the shows on Saturday, right? I take Sundays off. Monday, I start immediately collating fucking potential topics for this show. And
I have a little bit of a
to
different
the show.
method. I produce for a lot of different shows, and so I've got this one master list of saved videos on my channel, and anything I come across that fits the bill of weird enough, strange enough, police enough, bad enough, good enough, or whatever gets dumped into the list. And every now and then I go over to the list and thin it out, get rid of things I've already used and make room. And then while we're doing a show like this, that list is over there available. And so if we run up short on a topic, I'll go grab a video off that list that I've already vetted at least far enough to know that we won't catch like a block or a copyright strike or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the other thing is it gets kind of tricky with some videos. You do have to check beforehand before you pull them up, just in case there's going to be an issue with the original creator, or if there's going to be an issue with copyright or any of that nonsense. Or, you know, sometimes they just don't play that well, like regardless of how good your setup is. So you got to make sure that they'll do that too.
Yeah.
I'm horrible at all that stuff.
Right. That makes sense.
Well, the other day on the Jack and Abe show, we played the Dead Parrot skit from Monty Python. Not even in its entirety, and we got fucked for it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm
like, what the fuck, man?
Those old pythons, they don't fuck around with that.
Yeah, this is a damn near 50-year-old clip.
Mm-hmm.
Who gives a fuck?
It still belongs to them.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even the original copyright holders that pinged us for it.
See, that's where it gets frustrating when it's somebody like, so there are these conglomerations.
Some fucking interloper.
Yeah, there are these conglomerations out there that troll the internet with algorithms and ping videos that do not belong to them. Right. But they'll still claim the copyright, and you have to prove that it doesn't belong to them, which is much harder to do when you can't prove that it belongs to you.
That's why when I use copyrighted material, I find out where that copyrighted material is copyrighted from. And if some weirdo comes in and tries to ping it, I just send them the actual copyright. On top of them. Yeah. Y'all get together, figure that shit out. I don't care.
Yeah, because like with these third parties, it's like trying to prove a negative. How the fuck do you do that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, so a few years ago, one of my first game streams, right? I was streaming Monster Hunter World, and I was running, if I remember right, it was Ruiner Nergigante, Tempered Ruiner Nergigantes. And anyway, each monster has its own theme music, right? All of which is owned by Capcom.
Yeah.
And the original composer. So I got claimed for the music that was in game, right? It wasn't Capcom came after me. The original composer didn't come after me, which is amazing because if you've ever been on the internet for more than 5 minutes, Japanese copyright law is insane to deal with.
Yep.
It's way worse than the West, and way more convoluted. I got pinged by a fucking YouTuber who did a hard rock cover of that theme song. Despite the fact that the music that was in my stream was the original music that is in game.
Right.
And I couldn't fight it because I couldn't prove, because like in order to fight it, I have to prove that I have claim over it, which I don't.
There's a guy online called Cognificent, Backwards Internet. He's run a few channels. And back when I first started my channel, he had this tune that he had done when he first started his channel called Our Lives Online.
Mm-hmm.
For a year and a half, 2 years, I used this as my intro tune with no problems, right? And then one day, homeboy drops his lexicon, his entire list of music onto Soundcore, Notecore, whatever. I can't remember. But suddenly they started copyrighting everything I touched. It took a minute for me to realize what had happened. And it kind of sucked because we had actually been on a panel and discussed it. Like, we talked about that specific song. And he's like, yeah, go ahead and use it. He's like, at some point in time, I'll probably put everything into a SoundCloud or something. But when I do that, we'll fix it. We'll make it right. And I was like, okay, cool. Now, I'll only use it for this one show. That's all I'll ever use it for, is just that thing. Nothing else, nowhere else. Right. And, shit happens. Life sucks. You deal with it. I ain't crying about it. I'm just saying it's such a perfect tune for my show.
Right. Right. So no, it can be a pain in the ass to navigate. So yeah, you gotta spend a lot of time vetting stuff. You gotta spend a lot of time, and of course, like first starting out, you don't know any of this shit. You kind of got to go through it to get that experience. But
well, I think it's Ghosts of Yatai. It's just come out. People are getting pinged the music in that, but there's no option. There's like no streamer mode in the game.
Huh.
So if you play any of the game sounds, you're fucked.
Yeah.
That's just retarded.
I think you're going to start seeing more and more of that shit down the road.
That's when you set up the Netflix playlist. Right.
So anyway, as it stands, like long story short, there's more to this than just hitting live and starting to talk into the microphone. Although that is a huge part of it. That's like the majority of it. But there's other work that you have to do offline to make this shit happen. And sometimes, I mean, it can be like a fucking second full-time job, man.
Yep.
I call a decent channel run by a single individual that doesn't interfere with one's life a part-time job.
Yeah.
I put at least part-time hours into my channel weekly, at least. Now, I'm in a different circumstance than most people, where I don't have a full-time job and have to scratch together the part-time hours to put into this. But I'm very lazy, and I'm not jealous of any of you.
Yeah, I mean, I have a full-time job outside of this, so I have to work around
my ass more. Money me.
It's like some people ask sometimes why Abyssal Musings is so late on Fridays, right? Well, the reason for that is because that's the soonest I can get home from my job.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's usually I've been home for about 15 minutes before we go live on that show. So. And all that. But in fact, my co-host Lawrence Knight asked me that a while back. He's like, "Why the hell are we starting this at 11:30?" Because he's on Eastern time, and for me it's 9:30. And he goes, he's like, "Why the hell are we starting this at 11:30 and all that again?" And I was just like, "Because I can't get home sooner than that, man. Because my actual life work hours run to that point." So. It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Yeah,
so anyhow,
it's not like you can stream from work.
Right. So anyhow, I'm going back up to what Young God said here. I'm here for the talk about the Mormon angle of the CIA honeypotting Charlie Kirk with Erica Franzve. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway,
how do I get on that list? I want to be honeypotted.
I assume that is Erica Kirk's maiden name. I don't know. I ain't looked that deeply into it. But we probably won't be talking too much about Charlie Kirk specifically in this episode, but we are going to be talking about Mormons. So right off the gate. So Sunday there was another event, and this one, of course, I had to hear quite a bit more about because it was very big news in the Mormon community. It was pretty big news nationally too, but I heard some shit that a lot of people didn't, because my mother is Mormon and she's in with all those networks, which are pretty insular. And we'll be playing a video here shortly that not a lot of people outside of those networks have seen, but I think is probably important for people to see about how the aftermath is going, how they're handling it, that kind of thing, from the bishop of that ward in Grand Blanc, Michigan, where what appears to be, by all accounts, this wasn't politically motivated, a jilted lover who was mad at the church of his ex. Well, mad at his ex, really, but he took it out on our church. Drove into this church, set it ablaze, and opened fire. I think the current death toll is up to 4 people because there were 2 who were holding on by a thread earlier this week, and I don't think they made it. I know there was a 7-year-old girl who was shot. I don't know if she is one of the ones who passed away. I hope not. But this kind of shit's gotta. What the fuck is wrong with you people, man? And I don't mean you people as in chat. I mean you people as in the world. You know, why in the hell are we hearing every week about some shit like this? It's whether it's political or not. There's always somebody out there who's going out and take this. You know what this reminds me of? Actually, sadly, is Darrell Brooks, the man who drove an SUV into a Christmas parade.
Oh yeah.
You know, like this shit's got to stop. It's got to stop.
What do you do though?
I got you, bro. I know exactly what to do. Listen.
Here we go.
First, what we got to do is stop with the SSRIs. We can't be having these people just popping these things all the time. Next thing, we've got to get rid of this ADD, ADHD problem. That's not even an issue we need to be dealing with. That's for the parents to solve. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me.
It's pretty on point, though.
He was channeling his inner Alex. You know, it's just it's messed up. And then immediately after the fact, this is the part that gets me. I had the same problem with the Charlie Kirk assassination. Immediately after the fact, whether the motive was political or not, whether it was like, you know, anti-religious or not, it doesn't. None of that matters. What matters is that a psycho went and fucking started hurting people. Right?
Yeah.
That's what matters. That's what people should have been focused on. They should have been focused on, like, you know, mourning the dead and taking care of the survivors. Right? It should have been, you know, yeah, it's a horrifying thing, and we should be, you know, thinking about that. What we shouldn't be doing is standing on the bodies of the dead to make a fucking point.
I don't know, man. It's a very effective location to deliver a soliloquy.
I don't know. It's just
if you're gonna do that sort of thing,
right? But it's
hashtag Roy Batty vibes.
It fucking sickens me.
Yeah, I get that, but I never said it was a good look. I just said everyone looks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's hard not to look at the guy standing on a pile of dead bodies dancing.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, you know, it gets immediately politicized, and the next thing you know, with this particular case, like there was a huge uproar because the media referred to this chapel, this ward, as a Christian church. And the next thing you know, all of the fucking nitpicky little sectarian bastards came out of the woodwork saying they're not Christian, they're not Christian, they're not Christian. Oh, but thoughts and prayers, but they're not Christian, and how dare you call them that? Fuck all of you, first of all. Right? That ain't your call. Yeah. You know, you don't get to decide that. It's not up to you. Secondly, that's not the point. People were killed. That's the point.
I was a little upset with how many people tried to immediately make it political, and I actually kind of got yelled down at while I was on a panel when I was pointing out. I was like, look, if you remove all of your political lensing that you're applying to this, what I see is a very upset person who took vengeance out on a group of people that probably had nothing to do with it. I imagine the people that did were there. But that looks like the type of violence we're seeing, not anything left wing or right wing, not anything political at all. And they got mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
They did not like that interpretation. And basically, I got douched out of like 10 minutes later, I was gone from the platform. And they had somebody that was parroting the same political left right bullshit. And that's all it was. That's all it is.
Yeah. So that alone, that was enough to to piss me off about it. We've discussed extensively on this channel in the past, especially on the 150th episode. There was a bunch of Mormon shit on that one about, where I stand on that whole thing. But and none of that is relevant. What is relevant is that people were hurt and were killed by a guy who shouldn't have done what he did. It really is that simple. He did do it, and to hell with him. But as far as all the other ancillary crap, right? Like, if the very first thought in your head was, they're not Christians. Oh, but I hope they're okay. If I hope they're okay is the second fucking thought you have, something's fucking wrong with you.
Well, just a couple of days on Yom Kippur, we had an attack in Britain.
Yeah, I heard
on a synagogue.
About that too, yeah.
And the Deputy Prime Minister, David Lammy, turned up to the vigil. And bearing in mind, this is the most unpopular government in British history. Ever.
Which is saying something.
That's saying something. We've beheaded monarchs for less. Right?
And you like those guys.
And
more.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking bring back King Charles I, for fuck's sake.
I mean, they were at least family. Who are these guys?
Yeah. And David Lammy, the Deputy Prime Minister, he turned up to this vigil, and then he just started pontificating, and he was just getting booed from the crowd because people knew he was just there to score political points. Now, at the risk of doing that myself, do you know what the name of the assailant was?
Jihad.
Yeah.
His first name was Jihad. Who the fuck names their kid Jihad?
Well, I have a cousin named Armor of God.
Muslims?
So.
Yeah, it'd be like me calling my first kid Crusader or some shit like this.
Damn, let's do
ridiculous.
That. We could have a kid named Crusader, dude. I'm so on board. Ladies, this is your chance.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just such a fucking sad sight, considering that people had died and this cunt bowled up just to try and win over the crowd, and nobody was having any of it.
Yeah.
We're just tired of it.
It is awful shit. I will say, however, that naming your kid Jihad and expecting them to not go and fucking do something awful is like naming your kid Destiny and expecting her not to be a stripper.
I saw a thing years ago where it was somewhere in the Midwest, I think. And when I explain what the name is and why, you'll probably go, yeah, that sounds pretty much about right. There was a neo-Nazi couple who had a kid, and they called their kid Aryan Nation.
Oh, that's just good shit, dude. You know he's going to have a black girlfriend, right? You know he's going to have a black girlfriend.
Yeah, kid's going to rebel pretty hard.
He is straight up going to be Nation of Islam every day of the fucking week, bro.
It was so fucking surreal. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with these parents?
Yeah, it's...
Well, let's back up and take a look at what they've learned in their life. They went to public school, learned in public school, possibly graduated from public school, and then stood around in the corner until they got arrested and went to prison, or managed to get a job somewhere and stood around there until they were arrested and went to prison, or they joined government.
Yeah. Crystal Chandelier.
Yeah, that would be an unfortunate name. Yeah, she's gonna end up hanging from the ceiling.
Oh God, dude. Jesus! What's up, Coder? Welcome in, brother.
That's the kind of dark we need to channel.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I apologize for that. It just kind of slipped out.
Less of the killing. Let's focus on the dark humor.
Look, I love dark humor. You know that. It's like I don't
like stripper names.
yeah.
One of the reasons that we're bringing this up, and like I said, we got this video. We're going to show this in just a second. This is the video from the bishop, who is the if you don't know how Mormon hierarchies work, essentially they get like a calling to do a specific job or whatever. They're more or less elected, but they're kind of like, or chosen rather, by a body, but the body says they get their direction from, God himself, kind of thing. It's whatever. Anyway, he's basically the head of the church for a set period of time, and then somebody else will be.
Is it religiosity by committee?
By a select committee. Select.
I read a book one time where they did damnation by committee.
Well,
probably similar.
This comes on the right on the heels of the death of the president of the Mormon Church, of the LDS Church, as well, who was 101 years old, which is kind of impressive. Like days after his birthday, right? And how that usually works, how they select a new prophet or what because they call him the prophet, or president, whatever, is you don't really know who it's going to be, but you got a pretty good idea. It's probably going to be the leader of the Quorum of the 12, which is like the governing body of the church, with the president sitting at the top of that kind of thing. So it probably will be the current leader of the Quorum of the 12, but it might not be too. You never know. So, but they kind of use that sort of same system all the way down, right? So a ward is like your standard chapel area. Usually it's got a fairly large congregation because it covers a fairly large area, and then you've got branches which are considerably smaller. You get those in like small towns or whatever, kind of thing, and they're all members of what's called a stake, which is like a regional thing, et cetera, et cetera. So this will be the ward leader for Grand Blanc. So yeah, we'll go ahead and bring that up, and we're going to play this now, and because I think this is important for people to see. I don't think enough people have seen this. This is how they're handling shit. They're obviously upset, but they're pulling together as people should.
You ready?
Yeah.
As you might expect, our members are quite shaken in spirit and in body, and it hurts.
There are a lot of jump cuts.
The amount of unity and love that has been shown within our congregation from ward member to ward member is truly a testament of the love of our Savior, Jesus Christ. It's only through him that we can love so deeply during these times of trials.
Stop it here. Are you telling me they're not Christian? That is the only requirement per Jesus.
Yeah.
To be a Christian. That's it. Everything else is window dressing. Okay, I'm good. Sorry.
It's been.
I don't know, man. That
very
transubstantiation shit.
I mean, city of Enoch is in the Bible, man. The whole thing happened to that entire city.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying.
The amount of contact we've had with friends, not of our faith. As I returned home late last night, we had dozens of notes and packages and meals and food and treats waiting for us. Members of football teams, baseball teams, basketball teams, music had reached out to make sure that our family was okay. But to see people, everybody has dropped everything. And this is a true ward family at this point. We are caring for mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, and children. They're all of ours at this point. And it is fascinating how quickly a request for help is sent, and within seconds, a response is given, I'll be there.
As it should be.
These are the types of situations you don't think you can carry. And I don't think alone any of us can. So outside of the obvious assistance I know that the Lord is providing, I have felt a tremendous outreach. And I feel that love. I know the people around the world are praying for our ward and our families. And I am so grateful for that. It is the most significant time of my life where I have felt the love and prayer of other people. As we gathered as a congregation in a safe space yesterday, the community outreach was just astounding. The amount of meals provided, drinks, clothing, blankets for children. It was very humbling to see how much good there is in the world today, and that above all, we are all children of the same Father in heaven, and we love each other. I am extremely grateful for a loving Heavenly Father and His Son, Jesus Christ. I know that they are aware of the challenges that we are experiencing. And I know that through our Savior, Jesus Christ, we can find joy again. I know that with His help, there can be healing. And I know as we focus on Him, we can have joy. These are hard times. This is the largest trial any of us will likely endure here in Grand Blanc. But I know that He has overcome all.
All right. So, whatever the hell you believe, doesn't matter, is essentially what I'm getting at here. That doesn't matter. It might matter to you personally, it might matter to you spiritually or whatever, but when it comes down to on the ground in this shit, it does not matter. You're either that good Samaritan or you're the fucker with the similar beliefs who just keeps walking. You know?
Evil is as evil does.
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
is the best you can do. You can't stop evil. You can only stand in its way anytime you notice it.
Yeah, 100%. I actually did see a meme earlier this week that I think encapsulates it very nicely. Let me see if I can find the fucking thing, because it's a static meme. I should be able to just bring it up, hopefully. Yeah, it's. Yeah, I think it just encapsulates the entire thing just perfectly. Let's see, where was it? I didn't find the damn thing. I don't know why I don't just like put shit where I can easily access it. I'm really fucking bad at this. It's like I try to.
So
well,
while
here's
you
the
do
thing.
that, I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee.
Yeah, go ahead. But that's the thing.
I'm gonna go and take a nap for half an hour, and then
suck my balls. Oh man, where in the hell did I put it? Here's the thing. I put stuff in like different locations. I need to consolidate those locations. So
Yeah.
that's my problem. That's my problem. I don't know if I can find
just
it.
have like a favorites bar for like the next episode, and then when it's done, clear it, and then for the next one, add the shit in.
Yeah, you'd think I would be smart enough to do all that stuff. I'm not that tech savvy. Whatever. I can't
Like
find
a
a fucking
2-minute
thing.
job.
It's fine. Shut up. Anyway, hi Shadow. I'm just going to describe it to you. So it was a painting. of the Good Samaritan, right? So in the distance, you got the guy on his donkey. The first guy who passed by and refused to help the dude who'd been beaten along the road, right? And he just keeps going, doesn't even look back. The second dude is going along, and he's got his walking stick, and he's looking back while the Samaritan is giving water to the beaten man, right? And the guy looking back says, "Bro, Mormons aren't Christian." And the Samaritan's like, "Okay, whatever, dude." Right. And I think that encapsulated it fucking perfectly. Perfectly. It shouldn't matter because the Samaritan wasn't Jewish. He wasn't a Hebrew. In fact, his people were traditionally enemies of the Hebrews. But he saw somebody in fucking need and he helped because it was the right thing to do.
That's where the subtle racism of the Bible steps in. The good Samaritan. Like, hold on. That's a bit of a harsh moral judgment, isn't it? There's only one good one.
To be fair, the book was written by people who were traditionally enemies of Samaritans.
So, not just people traditionally enemies of Samaritans, but also people who had, from what God said, were the only people who deserved salvation or life, or the only goodly people in the world. So, of course, there's going to be subtle racism. When you Frenchman. Have. Yeah, exactly. If the British wrote a holy book, recording the fact that God told them that they were the only good people in the universe and they were the supreme people over all others. This is correct.
Yes.
It would be written in an incredibly racist way. If. Yes. The clear distinction there is if. And unfortunately, if said book
King James
existed,
Bible. Thank you.
And unfortunately, if said book did exist, then unfortunately, when Christ showed up, he invalidates it by making everyone equal. So,
yeah,
or equal in that regard, at the very least.
But I think if you look at that story, the Good Samaritan story, on the surface of it, it sounds like when it says, "Oh, the Good Samaritan," or whatever. Now, I don't think that was intended to mean this Samaritan was one of the good ones. It was just like he was a Samaritan and he was a good man. I think is where they were going with that. But even so, because the story doesn't illustrate that, that specifically that the Samaritans hated the Jews and all that stuff. That was in a different fucking part of the Bible. What it talks about here is that people who were of the same people as the beaten man wouldn't lift a fucking finger to help him.
Yeah.
That's the point of that story. Is that someone who wasn't even of their tribe was willing to help when they were not.
Ardent Party, beat me to the King James. Yep. So it is written.
Why did I think Ardent posted that? I'm retarded.
Aaron, Laura, from an outsider's perspective, absolutely. They, however, will tell you differently.
Well, if you have, and I'm sure Sam does, any knowledge of Middle Eastern paganism as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which has more or less been stamped out, by the way. By
fucking Stasis Geek, you dick. Where the fuck are you? You little git. He's just finished his film club. Fucking
no, fair enough. Welcome in anyway. Give all the shit. It's fine.
I'm just gonna call him a git.
But yeah, that's true, Aaron, Laura. Yeah.
He lowered the voting age in this joint.
He just showed me this ID, and I took it as solid.
Yeah, if that's what you believe, but if you've got any knowledge of like Arabic paganism in particular, Allah was actually the moon god, and that's why the crescent moon is the symbol of Islam.
Yeah,
and then it all got attached to the Abrahamic faiths that existed.
Right. But I mean, you could go down a rabbit hole in a bunch of different directions here, man. It's like you could even go back to what was it? The Gnostics believed that the Jewish Yahweh or the Hebrew Yahweh was in fact the demiurge and the evil god, and the actual creator was out there somewhere else. Yeah. So
there's a reason. There's a reason why the fucking Cathars got what they damn deserved.
Right. Well, and you could also make the argument too, because I keep hearing people throw around the word Baal as if it's a specific name. It's fucking not. It's a title. It's an old Canaanite word that means Lord. Right.
There are many
Actually,
Baals.
it's plural.
Some
It's a
kings
matter
All
were
of them
referred
got
to as,
dessert.
again, just a title. And in the Old Testament, the God of Abraham is referred to by that title several times in the Old text.
Yep.
It's not a name. It's just a fucking title. Now you have specific entities with that incorporated into their full names, like Belphegor, for example, is a version of it where Bel comes from Baal and Phagor comes from a specific mountain in Phoenicia. Lord of Mount Phagor.
Speaking of which, where the hell
Beelzebub
did
literally
Phoenicians
means
come from?
Lord of the Flies.
Yep.
But Baal is not a fucking entity, right? Baal is just a title that was applied to anybody who was in charge, including gods.
And let's not forget, Spot the dog is protecting Hades.
Spot. That's
Yeah.
absolutely right.
That one
Three-headed
is
hellhound.
that's one of my
Mastiff.
favorite things. It's almost as tasty as the fact that Chiron, the mentor of a great many heroes, was also the
Yep.
centaur for disease control because he was a doctor.
Yeah. He's basically the guy who told all the guys to wash their dicks.
Right.
That's
And
it.
on the Kerberos angle, the other funny thing about that is the more you look into Hades, the more you realize that he was just he was the most normal of the Olympians. He had a stable relationship with his wife. He didn't cheat on her all the damn time. He had a regularly named, relatively regular pet. He had a decent 9 to 5. Dude was normal. Then you look at the rest of the Olympians and see all the shit they're doing.
Yeah, the fucking degenerates in the
everyone has that
heavens were
one-
like, fuck this guy.
But everyone's got that one dysfunctional uncle. In this case,
Yeah.
they had that one functional uncle who happened to be, ruler of the dead.
I actually slightly disagree, Squatch. It's more I think it's more the Greeks resonated more with the Olympians and they viewed Hades as dysfunctional, whereas we resonate more with Hades and thus view the Olympians as more dysfunctional, and thus we should view the Greeks as horribly dysfunctional.
I don't know, man. I think
They
there
did
might
like
be
a lot of
little bit
hedonism.
Greek versus Roman conflationism going on here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, you have to keep in mind too that Greek pagans, Hellenistic pagans, thought of their gods differently than the Abrahamics do. Right? They didn't think of them as these beings that were beyond reach. They thought of them as sort of exaggerated versions of people, which is why they were so out there. But people behave in those same fucking ways.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. They are they're basic. I once heard the distinction between the way Christians view gods and the way most pagans view gods, as Christians look at their god as this like as like the supreme creator, as like the father figure, as the guy who's going to fix things, and pagans look at their gods as a hungry, angry wildcat you're trying to keep away.
No, totally off base, bro. The Abrahamic faith viewed God as the shepherd, and we are the flock. That is the analogy that works basest.
Yeah, well, that doesn't.
Shepherd has to solve the problem. Flock has to survive.
The main point of what I was saying was the fact that the pagans themselves would look at their own deities and go, yeah, that's basically a wild predatory organism that we're keeping at arm's length with sacrifices.
I think it's fair to say there's different perspectives depending on which culture.
And that's why I said most pagans. And that's why I said most
depends
pagans.
on which culture, because like you get into like say the Aztec pantheon, like some of them, sure, I'd agree with you 100% that was a description you could apply to some of them, but the top 4, no, they were above and beyond. The top 4 that essentially ruled the cosmos, which would include Quetzalcoatl, Huitzilopochtli, Xipe Totec, and the trickster god. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
We ever call him Coyote?
Yeah,
it works. We ever get a name for Twin 1 and Twin 2?
No.
Romulus and Remus.
My point is they were well beyond like the earthly stuff, really.
Quetzalcoatl, my alien boy.
And even in the Hellenistic tradition, there are beings that you could equate to the Abrahamic God. They are above even the Olympians, older than.
I didn't refer to power level. I meant more to. I was referring to temperament.
Oh, in which case, yeah, they're all kind of shit stains.
Do you know what we should
I
do
was
at some point?
the whole point of it is the temperament of the reason why Christians don't really get pagans is they're looking to gods as some kind of like moral influence, something to kind of like as a moral influence. Yeah, they're looking at it as moral influence, whereas the pagans are looking at their gods as something that is incredibly dangerous that will kill them if it feels like it, and they need to keep it back with some kind of appeasement or just stay the fuck away from it.
I don't know if this would be a suggestion more appropriate for Abyssal Musings or this show. But what I think we should do is do like a power tier list according to the levels of Dragon Ball Z.
I can totally do this. Are we doing all the ancient gods and all the pantheons?
I mean, that's
all
a
of them.
big fucking list, man. I don't know.
All of them, yeah.
We can't do that in one show,
Except
man.
for the Indians. We're
Let's
not
make it a 6-month-long series.
That's going to be its own series. The
There
Indian
are
pantheon can take a
thousands
while.
of gods worldwide, even if you just discount all of the Hindu ones.
I mean, we
We'll
could
do
just do like
leagues.
we could just do the front runners. Like
You
you
know,
do, like
we-
you do the Olympians, you do like the main Aesir, you do the main Aztec. Like you pick who are like the big, like the top 10 of
So,
each
like,
faith, and then you just go down the list.
Olokun for all of fucking Africa.
It's like a Nancy the
All the
Spider-Man
faith
of West
that
Africa.
matters, Sam.
He's
All the
really
faith that
fucking powerful.
Yeah, but like, how many of the various guys? I mean, that'd take a while to get into too, because not all the tribes believed in the same gods, or they called them by the same names or whatever. But
And that's why we got leagues. Let's have regional playoffs.
like with the Egyptian lore, that shit gets complex.
Yeah,
Like,
that
ridiculously complex.
Hey, how much are you
Fuck
willing?
Hippos.
Are you willing to put it on this? Because
Oh,
I'm
God
not doing it
wills.
by myself. Eat
I
me.
don't know.
But
The more
will help.
I'm talking about it, the more I'm kind of convinced it might be amazing.
It sounds pretty fucking amazing, dude. I mean,
Yeah, no,
You know, it'd be you-
fearless iceberg.
you know, like a
That's
football
awesome.
dream team.
Can we recruit from other pantheons, or do we have to stay native to the league?
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna do some. We'll work this out offline here, but we'll do a show down the road, maybe a series of shows. I don't know. Kind of depends on how much shit we decide to include.
Fantasy football
on
gods.
that topic. We'll definitely do that. I think there are some other people who would definitely want to be here for that too.
Hell yeah.
So but that'll be a topic for another day. Before we move on from this one on to the next one, I did find the meme I was referring to and describing. And I think that encapsulates it perfectly.
Like that term of phrase is exactly the same as when people go, Charlie Kirk doesn't deserve to die, but, and then they go into their list of X, Y, and Z why Charlie Kirk was a horrible person. Doesn't fucking matter. Like, it doesn't, if you're going to put a but somewhere, or you're going to try to justify something, you're just a shit person.
It's the same thing as like, I believe in free speech, but no, you don't. You add a but on there. No, you don't. That's simple.
Which, to be fair, no one actually agrees. No one actually believes in free speech. We all believe in caveats.
Free speech and consequences.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm gonna bust one across your chops, I hope I get it on film. Because if I'm going to jail tonight, I want evidence.
Right? Don't we all?
Right?
I would like evidence if you're going to jail tonight. just
Right?
because I
That's baby. I'm telling you, dude. Next time I get arrested, I'm doing a full-on concert at the cop car. I'm hoping to have at least 3 angles of cam. Not even joking.
I believe in eliminating racism, but yeah, that's exactly it, man. That's exactly
Segregated schools in Atlanta. Can you believe it? You hear this?
Now, hold on. There is a solution for eliminating racism. It's just it's not very palatable.
You know, sure, it's great. Listen, all you need is more big bitches. That's it. You
Sam,
leave the women.
Redefine it first, so they're not people.
No,
That's
no,
how you
no,
get rid of
no.
it.
See, you're going about this all wrong. You're making it way more complicated than it has to be, Shadow. You eliminate people, all of them.
All right,
see, I was
so-
talking about you redefine certain groups as not people. That way, you no longer have racism.
Look,
because you
I've
can't
said
be
this
racist
before.
animals.
No more people, no more problems. The common denominator in all the world's problems
I
is
love people, but
But all right, so I hear you, and I'm
Sam,
not.
I hear you. Sam, I
we're just
hear you.
gonna
If
stick a pin in that, right? We're going to stick a pin in that. We'll come back to it later. All right.
Speaking
We'll
of
get to little four horsemen and all that shit
stick a pin in that butt.
later.
Speaking of useless people, I'm going to bring this up now. So somebody, before we play it, two preferences, right? This is the first part of this video. The second part is not, but the first part of this video is something that Greta Thunberg just put out, claiming that she is a hostage of the Israeli government and military, right? Because she went back,
I've seen this.
even though they gave her a slap on the fucking wrist for violating their
Greta
rules.
Thunberg.
So,
name a more privileged people than Western white women.
No. Name a more privileged people than Greta Thunberg, because she's a people
She's
in
a
her
Western
own
white
right.
woman.
She is a people in her own right, and you'll see why I say that when we get to the end of the video.
All right, you're making a lot of assumptions here, Shadow.
I know she looks like Lord Farquaad right now. What's your point?
I mean, that's true, but you know.
How dare you?
Actually, more He-Man with the hair color.
He-Man. Till we meet again, He-Man.
And she still looks more masculine than the actor who's actually playing He-Man in the reboot.
Right.
That's great.
What's you?
My name is Greta Thunberg. I'm a citizen of Sweden. If you are watching this video, I have been abducted and taken against my will by Israeli forces. Our humanitarian mission was non-violent and abiding by international law. Please tell my government to demand my...
Wait. Okay, was nonviolent.
Her mission was to stir shit.
Sure.
Always to stir shit. She is a lying little, like fucking, I almost said Norwegian. Sorry, Norway. Lying little Swedish troll.
Yeah.
Also, why does legality make what you're doing moral? If the law says you can have slaves, does that make having slaves moral? No.
No.
Also,
Shadow. Here's
also,
the
why?
issue.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
She is going into a militarized zone, which requires certain permits and papers, and she just said, "Screw all that shit. We're just going to sell over there."
Here's the thing.
Well, yeah, that's the obvious thing there.
It's not legal.
Two things I got to mention here. I mean, number one, old blindy. Spoilers. Number two, number two, right? She says international law, right? There is no international law because there is no international ruling body, right? There are international guidelines that we all agree to kind of go along with, but there is no international law. When she says this shit, she's saying it as an absolute because she's a fucking globalist.
Yeah.
Do you know what's
she's
funny?
a liar
When I studied law, international law was one of the modules, and I think the highest anyone ever got on any of the exams was like 30 to 40%, because it was so vague, so non-binding, so unenforceable. It was never really clear what anything actually meant.
Because it doesn't exist. It doesn't mean anything, man. It's like when the UN
It's
goes around
bollocks.
saying like, oh, well, we wave our finger. Like fucking Gutierrez, the head of the fucking UN right now, is always going on and on about like, oh my gosh, I condemn this in the strongest possible terms on Twitter. Sure, dude. I'll give you that.
This is where we
What
cue
are you
the
actually
Dave
doing?
Chappelle skit of talking about the UN, where the UN's criticizing the American president, and he's like, oh, well, you should sanction me with your army. Oh, you don't have an army, do you? So you should shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Actually, Abe, no. They do have an army. It's called UN Peacekeepers, who have never actually succeeded at anything other than trafficking children. They didn't. They didn't fix shit in Kosovo. They didn't fix shit over in Nagorno-Karabakh. They didn't do shit between Palestine and Israel. They don't ever do anything in any of the African Rush conflict.
To piggyback on that, on that, UNICEF has been caught fucking kids several times in exchange for help.
Look at what the premise of this is. You're taking soldiers and putting them in war zones and expecting peace? How's that work?
Well, no, so the solution, as a professor of mine tried to explain with the UN, which all he did was make me hate the UN peacekeepers more, is the point of that is you're basically taking a third party and putting it between the two forces and basically telling them, stop, or you'll be pissing off the UN, which you don't want. But the thing is, the UN can only deploy peacekeepers if both sides are willing to put the UN between them. So the moment either side goes, we actually don't want the UN there, the UN has to remove its peacekeepers. So you could literally be watching one side lining up fucking gas chambers and the means to gather up entire cities of people to start exterminating them. And then if that country goes, we don't actually want you there anymore, the UN has to, by their own laws, remove their forces, and there's nothing they can do about it. There's a guy I knew who was in Kosovo during like all the crisis and stuff. He was part of the UN task force, and he had to stand there and watch as women and children were killed because the ROE didn't allow him to intervene. The UN is a fucking joke.
Yep. Always has been.
No, tell me what you really think.
So this bitch...
I can't without getting you guys taken off of YouTube.
Yeah, I know. Listen to this. It'll make you sad.
All right.
Ready?
Taken against my will by Israeli forces. Our humanitarian mission was non-violent and abiding by international law.
Go ahead.
It's not against her will. It's not against. This is exactly what she wanted, because she has done everything she has done has not been to help Palestinians. It's been to make a spectacle of herself, and it has been to paint one side in a bad light over the other. Now, I am no fan of Netanyahu's government by any means, but this dumb bitch, for the second or third time, decided she was going to run a fucking blockade.
Yeah,
by an actual military.
Yeah.
Thinking that she could just do whatever she wanted if she waved her little UN flag. And she knew they were going to detain her. She's known both times. And you know what else she knows? She knows if she actually got past them, if they actually fucking let her go to Palestine, we'd see her head on a pike next week. She knows that. She wants to be a fucking martyr. She wants that to happen, and she wants the Israelis to be blamed for it. I don't give a fuck about who win, the whole Israeli-Palestine thing at all anymore. Honestly, but this dumb bitch right here is deliberately trying to sabotage one over the other. And she's doing it not because she gives a fuck about either side. She doesn't. She gives a fuck about the clout.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. If I could get that kind of clout, I might try it.
Yeah. So, and the fact, by the way, fact that the IDF are allowing her to, keep her phone, film this video, send it out on all of her fucking social media apps, which are all
with
still
that
active,
haircut,
right? That shows me that she's really not in the dire straits she's telling everybody that she is.
Of course not.
No, the thing is, if Israel didn't want, if Israel didn't want this shit to happen, she would have never left. She would have never left Sweden or Norway or wherever the fuck that she took her boat off of. If they didn't want people to find out, she contracted a really rare illness. She contracted a really rare illness and died. And if they wanted people to know, she would have gotten into her car, turned the ignition on, and Tinker Toy Soldiers. No.
How dare you?
That's the film I'm referencing.
Sentence. I'm not real hip to that.
Yeah, Annie Pickles, she's a retard. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
No, it's
yeah.
I said what I said.
No, she is. Isn't she actually on the spectrum? Clinically?
I don't think it matters if you keep doing.
Doesn't matter.
Shit,
She's over
it doesn't matter. It's not relevant.
If so, she's being manipulated by those around her. If not, she's a moron. So
exactly, there's a difference between being autistic and being a fucking retard.
Well, no, absolutely, no. My main point was if you're calling her fucking retarded and she's actually clinically retarded, that's not disparagement. That's an actual statement of fact, and YouTube should fuck off.
Yeah, sure.
So, anyway.
Yes.
Please tell my government to demand my and the others' immediate release.
My name is Joachim Lamotte, and I'm a Swedish citizen.
If you see this video, Greta Thunberg has been abducted by Israeli forces. And I have a message from the Swedish people to the Israeli government. Please keep her. We have had her so many years in Sweden and we cannot stand it anymore. So you are doing us a really big favor right now. Thank you very much.
I fucking love that.
I want a fucking Israeli. I want a fucking Israeli to make a response video that's like, I am a citizen of Israel, and having engaged with this Thunberg person for 3 minutes, I safely say that we do not wish to keep her here. Recognizing
please Sweden, take her back.
Realizing that Sweden does not want her, we have decided to grant her wish and give her to Palestine. And then you cut to a fucking Hamas fighter in the middle of one of the polls.
On behalf of the Palestinian delegation, we are not interested. We're going to hand this one to the Syrians.
The fucking Hamas leaders like, I thought you wanted to end the war.
No, here's the best part. At the end of the Palestinian one, he just throws the phone over. That makes it up.
Oh man,
that's fucking Syria. They pass the buck to fucking. They recognize Kurdistan as a country to pass the buck to Kurdistan, and Kurdistan, the Kurdistani dude goes, "We're not a real country, so we're gonna pass the buck over to Turkey."
Give it.
And then it just keeps going, and then it just keeps going. All 180
she just moves away slowly
countries.
back to Sweden.
Fine, we'll take her back, but we want reparations.
The Swedish finish it with
look,
no.
As a citizen of the United States of America, we already have George Soros. We don't want her too.
Yeah,
I was gonna say we have Sean Piker.
We have so many. So, this whole deportation thing. Denizen X, Digital Denizen on YouTube, he's got this idea, and it's growing on me. He wants to deport anyone whose IQ is under 70.
I disagree because IQ is a fucking horrible metric for determining intelligence.
That's why I disagree.
Pol Pot wanted to execute anybody whose IQ was over 70, so...
Again, IQ is a fucking IQ test. IQ is determined by an IQ test, and IQ tests are fucking bullshit. It's not determining intelligence; it's determining memorization.
You're focusing on the wrong thing here.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
Pol Pot is still fucking retarded.
Here's you. There goes the joke.
No, I got the joke. I still just find I just don't fucking like IQ. I just find it fucking retarded.
That's a bit sus.
No, it's just I don't know, that dumb bitch. I just point is she's made such a nuisance of herself. Nobody wants her. Nobody wants her.
Drop the thing so I can change things.
There's a reason why she's single.
Is it because she looks like a dude?
Well, no, there are some motherfuckers who are into that.
Yeah, not dudes like that. Not dudes who look like that. No, she's like Melvin from Office Space or whatever the fuck his name was. Marvin. I don't know, the guy with the stapler.
She looked like Lord.
Sam, have you ever heard of Sam? You know what a Troon chaser is, right?
Yeah, I know where you're getting at. I don't believe that it's true in this case. This case, she is a repulsive person. Nobody wants her.
Well, no, absolutely. No, I'm talking about you made the point about the physical appearance, and I'm like, that's not the reason no one wants her.
Oh, I think it's part of it, dude. Yeah, absolutely. She looks like, do you know anything about like fucking Scandinavian troll lore, right? How they're made out of stone and all that stuff, and then like they only come alive at night and all that stuff. She's like the in-between Twilight phase.
On behalf of Sloth from the Goonies, we politely decline any interest from Greta Thunberg.
And you know what? Sloth has extra genes.
Yeah.
Great extra genes. Sorry, that was a meme I saw a while back that I posted on the community tab where it had Sloth like laid out like Sydney Sweeney, and it says Sloth has extra genes.
Nice.
That was good. It was good. Anyway, these
something wrong with you girls.
There's something wrong with everybody, I think.
Yeah. Say, Squatch, if you believe that, do not check the private chat because I found something on Twitter that is fucking diabolical.
Oh, don't say that. I'm going to have to rush to it now.
Right. Don't let a chromosome get you down.
Okay,
she's down, I'm down, I guess. I don't know. Next thing. I just wanted to bring that up because she's doing stupid shit again, and not a lot of people have seen it because not that many people fucking care after the last time she did this, right? But the end of that video with the Swedish dude making the response is just like chef's kiss, man. Chef's kiss. Well done, sir. Anywho, so y'all familiar with Optimus, Tesla's pet robot project? Right.
Yep.
It's okay to hate robots, right?
Yes. They have been teaching Optimus to do all kinds of fun stuff, right? Like to walk and to move and to dance and to do all this. Recently, they started teaching it martial arts. I can't see this going badly at all.
Great. This is going to be awesome. You know,
this is how you get Terminators, people.
No. The assassin droids from Star Wars. That's what that'll make.
The IG series, or do you mean the Commando droids from Clone Wars?
The Clone Wars, the Commando droid. The ones that have the dark mask.
I think the ones with like the blades that show up in season 1.
Blades. Yeah.
Yeah, that can like mimic their voice and pretend to be clones.
Yeah, real quick.
What, the Dark Troopers?
No, those are something very different, Abe.
Joe Cool, here's the thing. She's not doing
it's something
that.
Like
she's
that,
saying
though,
she hold up. She's saying she's doing that. She's not fucking doing that. Like the last time they got detained because they ran a fucking blockade, right? They were supposedly bringing food to those in need in Palestine, right? However, the amount of food they actually took on that little boat with them wasn't that much. It was like less than a fucking pallet full, right? And they ate half of it on the fucking journey. Right. That wasn't what they were doing. They had the food there because they had the excuse. It was never about bringing aid to people. It was about, bringing attention to it. Like the whole goddamn planet's not paying attention.
Yeah.
Right. No, it is 100% a publicity stunt. She is 100% full of shit. That's why I'm shitting on her. If she was actually out there fucking helping people, it would be other people talking about her.
So here's the thing. She did not go there with a whole bunch of food wanting to drop it off for some people in a hard spot. She sailed directly into a known and published blockade. She never had any intent of getting through the blockade because there's no one getting through that blockade, right? So whatever she had on the boat is immaterial because it's going to get picked up by the blockade. Also, if she makes it to Palestine, they'll just chop her head off, stick it on spike.
Yeah.
Also, let's say this was actually like let's actually like play this out and say, okay, she actually did intend to do this. She's still a fucking moron because why would you advertise to a people that you think are perfectly willing to kill women and children to get their jollies off? Why do you think that you can advertise what you're going to do and then do it without said state that you think likes killing women and children to get their jollies off, stopping you and killing you? It's the same people who will scream murderer, Nazi, and fascist to ICE or to law enforcement and then get up in their faces and start screaming at them. If you think that this is a person who will kill you for just existing, why the fuck are you antagonizing them?
I think that's also true. What I'm getting at is that if she drops this fucking clout shit, if she drops this like, eco warrior fucking, everybody sucks but me and I'm still going to do all these idiotic things, nonsense. If she stops the social media chasing and she actually starts doing real humanitarian aid, right? And I'm not talking about fucking gluing herself to a fucking tree to piss off the local police or whatever. I'm talking about like she starts helping. Maybe she's packaging food to send. Maybe she gets down there in the front lines to help deliver or whatever, right? Because there are ways to do that legally and through the proper channels that will also more or less guarantee you don't get blowed up, right? There are legal ways to do that she could have gone through those fucking proper channels if she really wanted to help, right? If she starts doing that, then I will drop all this shit. If she actually starts trying to actually help people, I have no issue with that, but that's not what she's doing. This is 100% fucking performative.
Aaron's got a good point. It's woke people looking for attention, and Zillage with a very on point.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, main character syndrome.
Yeah. I think
believe they have
Village
plot
said that earlier.
Yeah. Plot armor isn't real, folks. Not in the real world.
She doesn't
You
know
go
that.
to a place like that, you'll get killed.
Right. Especially if you're espousing some of the stuff that these people are espousing, you know, I mean, like.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this really funny story involving like the colonization of Africa, where there was this tribe that believed if you wore this like special paint, it made you impervious to all weapons. And then they met the British. And so you have like thousands, 2,000 warriors all dressed up in this symmetrical plate, like the largest consolidation of forces they've ever amassed. And they charged at the British gun lines. And the soldiers in the back could clearly see that their fellows were getting gunned down by British muskets. And the thought that, holy shit, these weapons are getting through the paint never crossed their minds. You would have captives taken, and they would be asked, why the fuck did you continue to charge our gun lines? And the response was, oh, well, because their paint was broken. Mine wasn't. Mine would have worked.
I think that was the war with the Zulu.
No, the Zulus were actually relatively competent, if I remember right. This was like some tribe who didn't understand that
militarily they were competent, but they were still very superstitious.
I'll concede to that. But yeah, like millennials and Gen Z are horribly fucking narcissistic.
Yeah.
I should also make clear here too, Joe. I wasn't attacking you specifically. I was just disagreeing with you, and I got a little heated about it.
Joe wants some of that, bro.
No, I don't do debate shit. I do conversations. So
you've never had an interaction with Joe Cool on a panel, have you?
No, I haven't. And you know, as far as but I will. I'm disagreeing with you that you said where was it? It's up here. Oh no, I gotta find the fucking thing because I scrolled down too much. Here it is. You know, an ugly, disingenuous, unpopular person feeds some homeless people. Good for her. If she's actually feeding homeless people, I have no issue with her doing good things. I really don't.
If she's actually accomplishing
I have
that,
seen
then
no
good
evidence
for her.
that she's actually getting anything.
No
accomplished.
evidence for
Everything
it.
she's done has been public eye. Get all eyes on this thing. You know, trying to draw attention to it without actually accomplishing anything. You know, so
if she actually cared about helping people in an effective war zone, you know what she could have done? Instead of doing this bullshit publicity stunt trying to run through a blockade she knows she could have never made to, hop in a car, drive to Ukraine, where they're allowing people to show up with food for their civilians to pass around.
Dude,
there are even dudes.
It's not even that. Like, she doesn't even have to fucking change tack and go to a different fucking war zone. She could have, if she had gone through the Swedish embassy in Israel, she could have gone through proper channels and gotten food to people in Palestine through proper channels that way.
Yeah.
Right? It would have been a whole lot simpler than trying to fucking sail a boat across the fucking Mediterranean into a blockade.
I was saying more in the, if she just wanted to like transport everything and drop it off. Like herself, kind of like that situation.
So I want to juxtapose this situation temporally. Imagine someone trying to do this during, say, the Civil War blockade of Savannah, or the Spanish blockade. What would happen to them?
Well, they'd been fucking blown out of the water with cannons. Or they would have been boarded, slaughtered, their stuff seized, and then utilized to feed soldiers.
Right. So she shows up, gets to film a TikTok, and then what? Goes home? What are they going to do with her?
Well, again, the last time she was taken into custody, they held her for like 12 hours, and that was just long enough for them to arrange safe transport back to her home country, right? They fed them. They gave them shelter. They treated them pretty well. You know, they did kind of make fun of them because it was kind of a stupid thing to do. Because if you go into a blockaded area, right, and you don't get blown out of the water, you should be fucking grateful.
Yeah.
Agreed.
If you do it twice, you should be very fucking grateful.
You know,
I
and
feel
a
like-
third time, dude, honestly, a third time, they might just fucking let her get through to Palestine just because they're
Right?
like sick of dealing with the bitch.
Yeah. That shit is really testing your look.
And if they do that, she is a dead woman inside a week. Because Hamas will kill her. Probably just for showing up without a fucking scarf on her head.
Yeah, that fucked up haircut deserves a scarf. Yeah, Joe likes poking people. He'll take the opposite side of an argument just to see where you go with it. And he's good at it.
Okay.
He's one of the few people that I will let come up and brace a paneler, because the worst you'll have is bad sound from him. He's not gonna damage your platform at all.
Okay.
I mean, he's probably sitting in a car right now looking at some
If
cops.
he's the devil's advocate, I'm sure I would probably get along with Joe quite well.
Well, not always, but he is willing to take an oppositional position, and he does think it out pretty well before he goes into it. So,
yeah,
you know, it's not an animosity thing. There's no hate involved with it. He's took me to loggerheads a few times, and it's just taken a while to learn how to deal with the way he brings stuff. It's
So Village, they weren't sailing though either. They were under diesel power. It's like it could sail. The boat could sail. It had that capability. That's not what they were doing.
Remember, Sam, when they say we need to lower carbon emissions, that only applies to the proles and to the plebeians and to the it doesn't apply to those noble equestrians or those mighty patricians. No. They get the full benefits of a carbon rich society. Well, you eat the bugs and use their trains that don't run on time.
You're one tier away from the carbon they're trying to reduce. You, sir, are the carbon that they want to reduce.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they'd rather you simply didn't exist, really.
There are days when Shadow's the carbon I want to reduce too.
And they're not real picky about how they end up.
To clarify what Sam just said, it's days that end in Y specifically.
Yeah.
There's a reason he keeps me muted on Twitter.
On occasion, I am tempted
You're not wrong, though,
to
Shadow.
my friend Anna, who will make sure he has a very nice shallow grave in the woods somewhere. There'll be like trees and shit and flowers and all that stuff. It's a nice area. It'll be fine.
He's going to be buried vertically.
In fact, if she gets creative, because she is an artist, there might even be several of them.
Yeah, she'd probably do a gig on top of the grave.
Right.
Yeah.
All
Take
right.
it into a festival.
So sorry about.
Why
the
am I remembering Pikmin's gallery from Fallout 4 right now?
You should read Pikmin's Model by H.P. Lovecraft, which is what that comes from.
There's a lot of Lovecraft shit in Fallout 4, so that checks out.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
That is a deliberate reference to Pikmin's Model.
So, I guess Boston. Yeah, I guess that checks out. Anyway, back to the robot. Back to the robot.
Tonic, man. Like, Fallout 4 is in H.P. Lovecraft's backyard.
Yeah, exactly. I realized that after saying the dumb statement. I wonder why that is. Oh, because Boston.
All right, video is happening.
Let's go.
I don't like it.
No.
Did he just do the fucking Henry Cavill fist reload?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's... Maybe we give Optimus 3/5 of a person status just for that, because that's goated. I like that.
No, not one fucking inch, Shadow.
Bearing in mind, the martial arts robot is tethered.
He's programmed to do that.
Yeah.
And
So
you're
it's tethered,
programmed
so it can't do it independently yet.
Yeah. For those who are just coming in, hello, Danny's thoughts. This is Optimus. This is the robot project that Elon Musk is running through Tesla. The one that they say are going to have something like 300,000 models rolled out next year, which is an army, by the way. That's an army.
No, that is not a small army. In fact, yeah, that is. I think that's. No, that's not larger. That is.
Look, if
I
Elon
almost
Musk
said that
makes a promise that involves numbers, just ignore it.
I almost said that's larger than the U.S. military. That's larger than I believe the Marine Corps. That's not larger than the full U.S. military. The U.S. military
It's
is like 2 million
absurd.
people.
It's not happening.
As far as the no sound goes, that's like it's just some fucking techno music. It's nothing.
Yeah,
you're not hearing anything that we're not hearing besides that, and it's really not that important.
Yeah,
in fact,
what
the
is
only
important
are all that matter.
The only visual thing that it has anything to do with is that first is the top left where it's dancing. It is kind of on beat, but
yeah, and that
just more examples. Just more examples of why I personally have not trusted or liked Elon Musk for many, many years. The man is a transhumanist. He wants to replace us. He wants to make humans obsolete. He wants to force our own obsolescence. And I am against that because I am human. I don't want to be forced obsolescence.
Sex bots. Thick thighs save lives, even if they're made of plastic.
It's not the end game. They've already got those. They've had those forever, and some of them are very hyper realistic looking.
Yes, they
hold
are.
on. I saw
in fact, no, dude, we did this on a show like 2 years ago, man. We brought it up then. Apparently, China is pretty close to perfecting this. I think it's China. I could be wrong about the actual origin. I'd have to look it up. I don't have it in front of me right away, but they are using human cloned cells to grow fucking living tissue to put over the faces of these things.
Mm-hmm.
China also said they had
real Terminator shit, by the way.
Yes, literally.
They also said they had man portable or I can't remember if it was just man portable or if it was rifle platform coil guns, one of the two. They said they were on the verge of that, and then that turned out to be a dirty fucking lie. So never trust China.
As an observation, it's 2025, and I have neither superpowers nor jetpack, and I hate you all.
Jetpacks
shit sucks balls, man.
Jetpacks exist. They're a thing now. They're not like super efficient fuel wise, but they are a thing.
Very expensive.
To Sam's point about sex bots, like this is a post that the Archcast reacted to a while back. Of that we've had this shit for a bit. Like this is not really that hard to do.
Did you just post that in the wrong fucking chat?
I put it into the CITV chat, and then I realized, oh, wait a minute, I can just put this into the private chat on stream.
Yeah, you could also share your screen.
That is also an option. Yes, I haven't streamed for a bit. I am not very
effort.
No, it's just my brain is not braining right now. There we go. Yeah. I'm realizing this might be a costume, actually, now that I think about it.
It is.
Yeah, bro.
That is 100% a costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen similar. There's been a lot of stuff going around, and people are posting this. It's like, oh yeah, look how advanced it is now. It's
This
like,
is
no,
why
that's
you
a chick in a
can't
costume.
trust shit out of China.
Half of the time, half the time it's a costume. Half the time it's fucking AI these days because AI is starting to look about that good.
Oh yeah, no. AI, what do you mean it's starting to look about that good? It's probably been that good. It's just
there's still a bit of uncanny valley there. That's pretty yeah, but it's starting to. But yeah, so like you can't. Some of those like hyper advanced ones that you're seeing like that, those are just people fucking wearing costumes and shit. Yeah, it is. I don't see teaching it kung fu ending well.
I mean, the kung fu part doesn't really matter. Is it able to effectively like carry a rifle? Doesn't fucking matter how good at kung fu it is.
I don't
when it's carrying a gun and kill us.
So
it's way more lethal.
Again, getting into the weeds with stuff, man. Here, that is not my point. It isn't about the kung fu. It's about the fact that we are programming these things to do harm. Period.
And it further, if it can do kung fu, yes, it can carry a rifle.
I mean, it could put fucking round pegs in round holes, man. It can carry a rifle. That's you don't even have to carry a rifle at that point. You could just integrate it into the armature.
The biggest issue they currently have is the effect of the recoil on the movement of the machine. So, provided they can get it to learn to counterbalance itself whilst it's firing a weapon,
right?
That's it. You've got a Terminator.
Oh, you don't even really need that. You just need like thousands of them. It doesn't matter how inaccurate they are. If you've got, it's the same logic that the battle droids had in Star Wars. You don't need one droid worth 1,000 credits to be the level of a clone. You need 1,000 droids worth 1 credit to wipe out a clone that's worth 1,000,000 credits. If you can produce robot soldiers more faster than the enemy can produce biological soldiers, you don't need to worry about it being effective. You can just throw bodies at the problem.
Well, here's the thing about the robot. Like, robots aren't limited by a specific configuration like people are, like soldiers are, right? Which is why, a few years ago when they started rolling out those fucking robot dog patrol beasts, I think Mar-a-Lago bought up some of them. I know the city of New York's PD bought up a bunch of them, and those ones I believe were armed. And by that I mean they had a firearm integrated into their back because they're obviously quadrupedal creatures, which allows them actually a certain amount of mobility that most perps running away from a crime scene don't have.
Well, that's the thing. This is a good point by Ardent here. Is that the human form isn't necessarily the most efficient killing machine when it comes to firing a weapon. So if you had a whole pack of these robo-dogs that were armed, that had weapons that could automatically synchronize the movement of their guns and figure out the course of every single bullet in real time, that's devastating to any army.
I think y'all are overthinking the entire process. Target acquisition was handled by avionics 40 years ago.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Friend designation has been a firm thing in the military since the mid-'80s.
Well, that's why I'm also saying that sex bots have been around for a while, too, because they have been. I mean, it started out as like fucking, vibrating masturbatory machines, right? Handhelds. But now,
it's good.
You got full-on sex bots, man. Like, Real Doll is essentially that. You just got to integrate some autonomous movement into the thing.
Well, following on from what Sasquatch said, that's why I don't think it's in any way a leap at all to imagine an entire automated army. Completely automated.
This is true.
That's some Skynet Terminator shit.
Yeah.
The technology already exists.
Yeah. And the social realm, assuming it's entirely benign as well, like let's ignore the fact that it's not benign for a second and assume it's entirely benign. The moment you start relying on robots for warfare, you strip the needs from having citizen soldiers. You no longer need to rely on the citizenry for your combatants. And what happens every single time you look to history when the people running things no longer need to look to the masses for their armies and can start relying on a small number of elites for them?
Right.
Yeah.
So Zillich said something in the chat. Sasquatch has just put another link in the backstage there. It says, next they're going to start making Gundams. It's funny you say that. It is funny you say that. Now, this isn't quite on that level because it's not, there's no electronic shit going on. It doesn't have a motor, which it says in the post that the video is attached to. It's all done with,
if I could get a real Dragon Zord, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'd be like, this is cool. Destroy it, destroy the technology, This is terrifying.
Right. Now that all this is essentially advanced puppetry is what this guy is doing here, but it's you know, that's where it's heading.
Yep.
Exo armor.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a conversation you guys don't want me starting on because I am incredibly tistic about the applications of exosuits and powered armor and what it'll do to warfare.
Well, this isn't powered. This is essentially it's just mimicking his movements. It's going off of his like the only thing powering it is a human body.
Right. Well, what I'm referring to. Well, this isn't a proof in concept, but it's like resembling an exosuit. And powered armor is an exosuit, but is able to not only carry some kind of extra weapon, but also the armored plating on it.
No,
that's more of like this evokes the exosuit.
Obviously, this is just a basic frame too. You know,
this one actually looks more like the exo armors that protected Zion in the Matrix series.
Kind of.
Those were just exosuits.
Yeah.
Or the exosuits that you saw in Edge of Tomorrow, like way smaller platform
exactly.
silhouette than this, but same general concept.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you could use this for a whole lot of different things besides a war too. I mean, obviously, that is the first place we ever go with anything as a species, but that or sex. But I'm thinking like the loaders and aliens, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Which are essentially bipedal forklifts.
Yeah, or firefighters being able to carry being able to even if you don't make the actual suit, even if you're still just wearing the regular firefighter suit under the exosuit, the ability to carry a person in all of your kit without getting fatigued would be a massive boon. And that's kind of like that's why exosuits, even if you can't make one that can carry all the armor that you would need to be bullet resistant to make, powered armor relatively viable, just having an exosuit is a massive game changer because you're no longer fatiguing the body and while you're carrying all that kit. So you can either carry more kit or you can carry the same kit and do the same activity for way longer and not get fatigued.
You can also,
like Sam said, outside of a military environment. You can eat construction as well. You can apply the same logic to construction, or deep sea type stuff as well, because you can carry more oxygen tanks that way.
I think you're way overthinking it again there, brother. Let's take the firefighter idea. If you've got the ability to reach out and grab a flaming beam with your metal hands and it doesn't hurt your physical hands, you could change the game of firefighting overnight. A suit capable of standing the heat of being that close and functioning inside the fire instead of trying to kill it from outside.
The only downside
to walk into the heart of the inferno and bring enough fluids to actually do the job.
Sure.
Yeah.
The only downside I see to that is like the added weight on weakened floor beams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you get trapped in it, you're going to cook.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, you're kind of begging for it, but I mean, at the same time, that you could make the same argument about the guys who run into burning big buildings in the first place.
Right.
Also, to be entirely fair, a fit individual wearing some kind of exosuit is not going to weigh more than the average American.
He will be if he's carrying a fuckload of gear and water.
And then
still not as much.
I get you live in water's heavier than you think it is, dude.
I get you live in bumfuck nowhere where McDonald's is some kind of luxury meal, but over here in
we have 2 McDonald's. Kiss my ass.
Wow, 2 of them. Wow. Watching the average American waddle around is depressing.
Most of us aren't that fat out here because we work for a living.
You also can't afford basic food.
So, yeah.
You're like Belters in the Expanse. Some days you have to go without breathing. Some days you have to go without eating. Some days.
That's just because I'm poor, man. Why you got to pick on me Pacific like that?
Right.
Hey,
Yeah, because you live out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Shut up. So no, it's an interesting idea because I could see practical applications for that. Because the reason that I don't have a problem with this kind of thing versus like say Optimus, right? It's because while at the moment Optimus doesn't do anything its programmers don't tell it to do, there will come a point where it will be placed in positions where it needs to be solving problems on its own. Whereas the suit thing, all this is really just like an extension of your appendages, right? It's there's still a human being in there. There's still a human being controlling it, and like what is the word I'm looking for here, Sasquatch? What prosthesis? It's a prosthesis.
Do you remember Chappie?
Yeah,
the movie.
Really good movie.
Really good movie. The two platforms that were competing for funding was something called the Moose, which was that thing that we were just looking at with rockets, and then what Chappie was, which I can't remember what it was a police unit, an autonomous police unit, and I don't think that's going to be the choice that we're going to end up with. I think they're going to finance all of it. You're going to have to face all of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the U.S. government would do, honestly. Just throw all the money at the thing.
Yeah, why not? 2 for twice the price. Fuck it.
Well, I wrote a paper a while back in college. I don't remember what the prompt was, but I got like an upper B, lower A on it, so I'm assuming I stayed on topic well enough. But I was discussing using Nagorno-Karabakh as kind of a baseline, and then the war in Ukraine as well, about how a shift towards autonomous warfare would see like the eradication of an egalitarian society and a return to autarky. And one of the points I made is if you see the same kind of developments in weaponry that, like exosuits, powered armor, more lethal infantry platforms alongside autonomous armies, you would have basically the return of medieval knights, but you wouldn't even need the peasants anymore. You would have the robots be the peasant levies that just kind of soak up the damage and occupy territories. And then you would have a very small subset of people who don't even need to be physically imposing anymore because they can just ride around in a battle suit and do the fighting.
I think, yet again, Egg, you've overthought it. If you have no peasants, there's nothing to control and there's no need to fight.
If you're fighting other nations, because there will always be, even if they make their one world government, you will always have well, that family has a nicer hill than mine. I would like that hill. It's in our fucking DNA. If you have 2 humans in a room, it doesn't matter if you could both have fucking like the exact same ball. But because the other guy has their ball, you want their ball, you'll beat them to death with yours to take theirs.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. I get that problem all the time. You're just out and about in the countryside and you're like, damn, that's a fucking sweet looking hill.
We're going. I'm with Andy Pickle here. Explain the 3 seashells.
They don't even explain it in Demolition Man. Fuck you. They don't even explain it in the fucking movie you're referencing. And yes, I've seen Demolition Man. Go fuck yourself, Andy.
All right.
I have some culture.
Hold on. The closest you get to an explanation of the 3 seashells is in a Demolition Man comic book. And it doesn't explain a thing. It just shows her, like, it's like 3 days in or whatever, and it's the chick. And she's like, and that's how the 3 seashells work. And he's like, oh, it's obvious now. And they move on. Actually, the only reason I know about anything comic related is currently in the chat. Jeff over there had all the comics.
If I remember right,
in the bathroom, so I'd read them.
If I remember right, Sandra Bullock did a red carpet interview like last year sometime, where somebody asked her about the 3 seashells, and she said, "I'll never tell."
That's because she
doesn't know, but
seashells on the seashore,
right?
Yeah.
So someone's giving
also
away Nobody's giving away free hills. You got to take the hill. That's
no.
Yeah, you got to
free
take the
hill. You got to take.
That was
it.
the whole point of every battle in the Civil War. Take the hill.
That's the point of every war.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Hey, don't you underestimate the value of hills.
Before we,
I am not underestimating value of hills.
Enough about the hills.
Casualty reports. I've read the World War I casualty
Next
reports.
week
The
we'll be
French
doing
would
a
have
hill special,
It
folks.
was really nice having Shadow here. He'll be back at some point. No, I'm just fucking with him. I'm just saying, let it go, kid. Let it go.
New toy. Good to see
Yeah,
you.
we got a new.
No, I
thing
don't want to
get
let go of the
onto
toy.
here. Shut up.
It's my chew toy.
Shut up, or I'll make you shut up.
What are you gonna do? Stick me back in the box?
Yep.
Yes, get in the box, Shadow.
If it fits, it sits.
All right, back in the box he goes. Anywho, it's look, kid, you got to get past this. Like, I have to have a fucking smart ass quippy comeback to everything anybody else ever says ever. Right? That shit is getting old. You're not muted.
I know I'm not, but you said I don't need to have a smart ass quip every time, so I wasn't giving a smart ass quip.
Progress is made.
When he sleeps, it resets, though.
Right? Like, no,
he's learning,
not,
unlike me.
Right? You know, Abe's terrible at this shit. He's the fucking worst, and he's a terrible influence on you, Shadu.
All of you are horrible. Actually, you know what? Sam and Squatch haven't actually been horrible influences. Abe is 50-50.
You see, you've all got Abes now, and you can never get rid of it.
That's so fucking gross.
I mean, I feel like you're threatening
welcome.
me at the time because the joke's on you. I'm into that type of shit.
Sweet. Did you know you could get double Abes?
That's one for each end. It's going to hurt you twice as much. Right?
So the next thing up that, and this, by the way, this has not been added to the description, but it will be after the show. I will put the link to this video and to the man's channel in the description below. I haven't done it yet, but I will. So like I said at the top of the show, a couple of days ago, I did Whispering in the Dark where I wanted to cover this and kind of EFAP. It's only an 8-minute video or whatever. And to kind of introduce the idea out there, because I think it's much broader than he makes out in this video. It's a much broader thing, and could potentially be a very good thing or a very bad thing. But this is from a YouTuber named Jake Monroe. He's big in some circles. It's very goth stuff, that kind of thing. And what he's talking about here, he's applying specifically to goth, punk, and emo subculture, but could be applied to any subculture or hobby, right? And I think it's a good thing. But we'll be stopping periodically to discuss what he's talking about and all that stuff too. Anywho, this is a video he put out like a week and a half ago, something like that. I don't know.
I fully endorse this movement.
Anything that makes more goth dummy mommies, I'm good with.
Unfortunately, the American mall is dead, and thus the goth woman no longer has her natural habitat.
Can we just
think that the mall was the goth woman's natural habitat? You poor dumb son of a bitch, man. Those were
what
emo
the
bitches.
memes on Twitter say, Sam. I didn't live in a time when your people were common.
Shut up. The memes on Twitter were made by people your age who weren't there. You don't know.
And the only information I've ever had to work on was that.
The mall is in emo's natural habitat, and the emos are not goth. Just
what's the fucking difference?
If you can't tell the difference, then you shouldn't be in the space. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, hit the video.
Hello, welcome. Yes, things have changed. Things have changed quite drastically. My name is Jake Monroe. Proud white man. Indiscriminately racist, but that's my business. Becoming increasingly obvious that there's an enemy out there.
Yeah. So
sorry, I only set a small part of my studio on fire.
Oh shit!
Oh nice.
Yeah. Well,
that's good.
It's only a little bit.
Control now.
Little char adds character, I think.
Different reactions. Nice.
Yeah, Zillage,
Oh,
you could
shit.
apply this to grunge. You could apply it to
anything really.
If you're into like 4-H or whatever, yeah, you could apply it to literally anything. What he's about
Almost
to do,
anything.
which we've all
yeah.
heard about, but what he's talking about doing is organizing against it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to use that word, but they've made it very clear that they are one. It's demonstratable evil. I'm a very divisive person. You say, hey, do you watch
Are those
Jake
Doc Martens?
Do what?
Is he
Say
wearing
that again.
Doc Martens? Shoes?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to his shoes.
It's possible.
And their reaction is going to be one of two things. Oh my God, I love that guy. That lad, he's the best. Or it'll be one of disgust. Oh my God, that bigot. That awful man. Yes, we've all heard the stories. Except mine, apparently. But I'm not here to talk about that. One thing is for certain. There is a growing amount of people who support what I'm talking about. Who support where I'm going with what I'm doing here on YouTube. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need to put yourself on the front line, put yourself in the crosshairs by openly supporting me. It's fine. I'm a big boy. I can do this all by myself. I know you're there, and I'm speaking.
In the interest of fair use, we're gonna stop here for a little bit as well. But he's not wrong. There's a growing. Actually, the other day when I was using this video, Shidu, I brought up you and specifically in relation to Warhammer, specifically in relation to Chudhammer versus Wokehammer.
Aw,
which wouldn't have happened.
I feel noticed.
Which wouldn't have happened if people gatekeep their shit.
Yeah.
No.
Right. And that's what he's getting at. It's like he's like gatekeeping. Because here's the thing.
Female Space Marines.
Yeah. Essentially. I mean, here's the thing is it's fine to have noobs. It's fine to have people who are newly interested in the thing, right? But you kind of got to vet that shit these days, right? You got to kind of figure out how to vet that they're genuinely interested and not just fucking parasites who are coming in to tear your shit down and take it from you.
Yeah, that's why it's called gatekeeping and not wall keeping. The gate's there. You can open the gate, close the gate, let people in, throw people out whenever you want. And the funny thing is, everyone is pro gatekeeping. There's not a single person who is not pro gatekeeping. There are people who will say they're not pro gatekeeping because they recognize that if they admit to it, then they will be the ones getting thrown out. But when you ask a question like, hey, if a fat, smelly dude walks into a game store, is just burping loudly, eating potato chips everywhere, making rude comments, cheating the entire time, are people going to ask him to leave and force him out? Yeah.
No.
That's gatekeeping.
No, you're wrong. Because that is the average gamer, and they're expecting that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, dude, I'm still on the panel.
I'm right here, bro.
Well, every single person who's gone gatekeeping's bad, and I give them that caveat, they go, well, yeah, that person deserves to get kicked out, but that's not gatekeeping. Failing to recognize that is opening the gate, throwing the guy out, and then closing the gate. Everyone is inherently pro gatekeeping.
Right.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Well,
yeah.
I think you should be. I think you have to be in order to preserve things, in order to conserve things. You got to keep
you just use the bad example.
To quote the aristocratic utensil, if you hold nothing sacred, then you don't have he uses it in the context of society, but you could apply it to a hobby as well. If you just tolerate freedom, absolutely nothing is held sacred, there's no rules, there's no standards, you don't have a hobby, you don't have a community, you don't have a society. Everything is just going to burn down. And if you don't enforce the membership against people who are refusing to follow the rules, whether it's the unspoken rules or the actual written down rules, it's only a matter of time before what you have crashes and burns, like what happened with Sam's goth stuff and Anna's grunge stuff and every single science fiction setting ever. Because we keep letting these motherfuckers in.
The punk movement became Green Day.
Yeah, no, I was fixing to say what happened with almost all of these movements is they were subverted by the mainstream. it went to mainstream and became mainstream. And after that, there was no regaining the soul of what it was. Emo's different from goth. Punk is different from emo. These are not the same things unless you're looking from the outside, where all you see is some severe gentleman wearing lipstick and a bunch of pale makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, I see box cutters getting held and Edgar Allan Poe being read, but teach his own.
Well, even Johnny Rotten, from the Sex Pistols, he said that, the whole point of the punk movement was to rebel against what was mainstream. And now so much weird shit is mainstream. To say anything against it is an act of rebellion. And yet people now call Johnny Rotten a Nazi.
Well,
That's
I mean,
absurd.
he was white.
True.
Yeah.
So you got to give him that. But I just don't understand how you take that culture and start raging for the machine. I don't get it.
It's actually super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
And you become the machine.
That's Ryan George reference.
Think about it like this, right? So the hippie movement in the 60s, right? All about peace, love, anti-war. Everybody's got to get along, free sex, and all that stuff, which arguably caused a whole bunch of shit to go wrong. All of the people who were in on that, especially with people like the Velvet Underground and whatnot, who were bucking terrorists, but we're associated with that kind of thing. All of those guys are now in charge. They won. But
and look at the world
when you're
now.
in charge, right? You want to stay in charge. So you do things to kick out the old guard, to, make sure that things stay the way that you want them to be. So you make these subtle changes here and you say, no, it's always been this way. And I've always been in charge and I always will be. And
but
that's
Sam,
the thing you want to get rid of. And that's the thing you want to avoid.
You can't fool the children of the revolution.
You kidding me? The commies did.
Yeah, they
Here's
did.
the question.
Big fucking time.
What's the average age of the average American?
I think
What's the age of the average congressman?
The age of the average congressman is like 60 or 70. The average American, I think, is like 40.
You'll find your problems. Listen, Egg, you'll find your problems in that gap.
Well, that's one of the problems. I think there's two primary issues personally, which I know everyone on panel will disagree with me on. But yeah, no, Squatch is right on that part. That is absolutely undeniable.
That's pretty fucking funny, Choco.
It's fucking diabolical.
I'm starting to warm to Joe. I'm starting to like him.
Oh, Joe Cool's the fucking balls, bro. Like,
I've seen him on a few panels. He seems like a lot of fun.
He's funny.
I'm sure I've seen him on something before. Yeah.
Once you get past the passive aggressive standoffishness of being a contrarian and taking oppositional views, once you get past that, seems to be a pretty cool dude. He has a really good nose for like sniffing people out. He loves the smell of bullshit. Great.
Let's continue.
Squatch, that's you. Push a button.
I'm dying over here.
Press play.
I will. I'm trying to tell Sam, Joe's got one more that you need to highlight.
For you, and you know that. And I love that you know that. And I love that you know that I got your back. But for those of you out there who do stand up for me, that do stick up for me,
legit,
I appreciate you. I see you. You guys are the absolute best. In fact, all of you are, both the silent and the vocal supporters of what I'm actually doing here, which is this. I am encouraging a red-pilled alternative movement. Now, I'm going to get into what red pill actually is and how that can fit very snugly within being an alternative person in whatever subculture you want to be in, whether it's emo or goth or punk or whatever. That's the next video. The next video I'm doing, I'm going to be talking about that. But here, I'm going to be talking about what I want to do. And that is even the playing field. I don't like politics. I'm not a political person. But there are certain groups out there, very powerful groups, that insist on these qualities, these things, these ideologies be present and be qualifiers for being part of subcultures. And I cannot abide by that. So I have to become political, or anti-political, actually. I want things to go back to the way they were before these freaks infiltrated this entire thing and made it all about them and the shit that they care about. Do you remember when goth was about the music?
I do.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when goth was about cool stuff? Yeah, that
100%. That was the thing. It's like,
yeah,
like you could make an argument historically that the whole goth movement actually has its roots with the Visigoths and the sacking of Rome, sure, and also with Gothic architecture and like the fucking 1500s and et cetera at all, and then with the Baroque movements and the various like authors like Shelley and Lord Byron and Edgar Allan Poe and that sort of thing. You could argue that it goes back that far, but as far as like a subculture goes, a recognized subculture goes, it only goes back as far as the 70s, and it didn't really pick up steam until the late 80s. It's also an offshoot of punk, right? Via post-punk, which is about music. It was always kind of about music. It was about the aesthetic. It was about I like macabre shit, and I like listening to these macabre sounds, and that was it. That was the whole thing. It's never been a fucking political thing. Right. Now, punk arguably could be argued to have been a political thing. And I don't necessarily think that it was. I think that a lot of people who were into punk were political, but I don't think that the punk itself was, if that makes sense.
Well, it's kind of hard.
Oh, sorry, Squatch.
It's kind of hard to be alternative without a mainstream to alternate from. You can't have a subculture without an overculture first. Right.
Sure.
You can't counter a culture you choose to be a subculture of.
Sure, but this is, let's take goth for example. Most of that wasn't about rebelling against the fucking government or the status quo. It was about rebelling against your parents. Right. It was much smaller and much more personal in scale than punk was.
Punk was also about rebelling against control, but it was more of the man type thing.
Yeah, it was a rejection of the mainstream.
Right, whereas goth is not only a rejection of the mainstream, but a rejection of the punk counter narrative as well, basically blackpilling the whole concept.
Yeah, mostly through music. Which
she cut a lot.
If we're being very
music and aesthetics,
if we're being very fair about it, a lot of early goth music was kind of shit. Like people are always talking about Bela Lugosi is Dead by Bauhaus being like the punk or the goth anthem, right? That song sucks. It does. It sucks.
Yeah.
There's better music out there, but a lot of it was more about the music scene. It was more about the you hang out in graveyards and you fucking like take charcoal rubbings of the Stones, and you howl at the moon and you wear fucking ghost paint, and like that kind of thing. It was more about celebrating life by embracing death than it was about a political movement.
There's already a movement for that. It's called being homosexual.
Yeah, there's less butt fucking in the goth movement.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
a lot less.
No, they just
were doing 90% of it, Sam.
That's all. It's not just eyeliner.
So something kind of tied to what Sam just said about how goth was never about politics. It was about I think not exactly the way you said it, but kind of how I took it is what you were describing, is viewing the beauty of life by appreciating death or something like that, kind of along that line.
Yeah.
So what you have is you have a group of people all learning how to process information shared a specific way. That you have the music and you have the lingo and you have the dress and you have all of this is encoded information that a specific population are able to receive, and then that allows them to operate as a cohesive unit, more or less. I am very sterilizing the situation, and that might be incredibly offensive to some people, but that's what all cultures, subcultures, communities, whatever, when you have a distinct population, that's what happens. The reason why you have chucklefucks trying to make it political is because it's a vector of mobilizing resources, a vector of mobilizing control. They don't actually give a fuck about the punk, they don't give a fuck about the goth, they give a fuck about the people that they can utilize to gather more power to affect the overall culture. That's why they go in, because they know, hey, I can't step in and suddenly start being in charge of the general culture day one. So they go for the smaller groups who are not organized, who are just, I'm vibing, I'm having my time, and they consolidate power there. And then they use that as a bridge point to consolidate more and more social power until, like Sam said, they're the dominant power. They're the ones in control. And the vast majority of people just kind of follow what the leader does, like a sheep following a shepherd. And so they don't really realize what's happening until, well, the sheep gets led into the slaughterhouse or the person gets led to the breadline.
Yeah, and here's the thing about goth specifically, because like punks were notoriously exclusive, right? Notoriously, like the second you got a hint of recognition that your punk band was, might be a little bit more popular than say the next five, right? You're immediately considered a sellout and ostracized. Whereas so the whole mind virus thing, the whole DEI, woke inclusion, all that nonsense, all the commie propaganda that's been force fed down everybody's throats recently. A lot of that stuff starts on the ground level. And the thing about that is they come in and they say you're not inclusive enough. And the thing about goth is it has always been inclusive. Nobody gave a fuck what your politics were. Nobody gave a fuck what your religion was. Nobody gave a fuck where you were from. If you appreciated the same things, you were welcome, period. And that was our mistake.
Yep.
Right? We should have been a little more discerning. We weren't. And honestly, we shouldn't have had to have been. But that is the
but I think you're taking umbrage on something that's not your fault. That's exactly the way a community works. If you're down for the same things, you form a community and it works. But it's when you have people who are not down for that thing, but are willing to come and say all the right words to appear to be down for that thing, but are actually down for the divisive division of DEI hires and fucking HR.
Well,
it doesn't even need to go that far, Squatch. It doesn't need, like, there's a point that I saw on Twitter about how if you have a neighborhood where everyone knows, hey, when there's a sign that says you only take one in the candy bowl on Halloween, you only take one piece of candy. And then a new family comes in and they run to every bowl and dump the whole bowl into their bag. Now, either everyone has to wait at the door, give out the candy one at a time, so that everyone gets a fair share of candy. The rule that we all accepted was broken because of one bad actor. And now we must be on guard after that. Unfortunately, though, it's never that clear.
So I think it is. What how's the meme go? Right, it's you got your inclusive group over here, right? You got your outside over here who has nefarious designs, but nobody but him knows that. And he comes in, he's like, "Hey, can I be included?" Sure, you can be included. And he's like, "Hey, maybe we should change this thing to be, a little bit more PC." Okay, we'll change this thing. Okay, we'll change this next thing. Okay, we'll change this next thing. Hey, the thing that we liked in the first place is no longer the thing that we liked. What the hell happened? And the guy who took it over is just like, "Yeah, you're not welcome here anymore because you're a bigot."
Yeah.
And it's now my thing.
Or even worse, you completely destroy the ability to trust. Because now hey, other people may come in and ruin everything. So we shouldn't let new people in. But when you do that, you weaken your position and allow the other to consolidate more resources until they can just take it from you without even the subversive part needing to happen.
Right. So anyhow, and that's, I think, the point that Jake is making here, by the way. Oh, and for those of you who are coming in later, this is Jake Monroe. He is here on YouTube. He has a much, much fucking bigger channel than we do. So
say words.
It was fun times. You know, sometimes I look back and laugh, regardless of where I am, and think, oh, those Goths. What a great bunch of folks. They're not so great anymore. In fact, they resemble something very close to Antifa, which has recently become a terrorist organization, and rightfully so. But I'm going to be spearheading this red-pilled movement within alternative subcultures. It doesn't matter if you're goth, it doesn't matter if you're punk or emo or cybergoth or whatever you want to be. I am going to be spearheading and encouraging this new movement to counteract, to remove this mire that seems to have descended upon all of these subcultures. I want it removed. I want it to go back to the way things were, because this is all new. Don't buy this, it was always political bullshit, because it's bullshit, and I've debunked that, I think 3 times. Because of some very unfortunate childhood trauma, I am unable to be a believer of Christ. I am a lifelong atheist, and that is never going to change. However, I have come to appreciate the things that the great men believed in when they built these nations. You're a Christian? Cool. Thank you. Thanks to the efforts of our ancestors and their belief in Christian values, we have this very nice stuff that everyone's clamoring to get to. So here's my proposal, as clearly as I can possibly put it. I encourage new content creators out there, new alternative.
I got 15 minutes, bro.
Cool. So real quick, he's right. He's right about the Western nation thing, you know, and how he handled that just now. He's like, "You're a Christian? Cool. Thank you for all the good stuff." That's it. Yeah, that's all he said about it.
Oh.
Moving on.
Alternative influencers to start using the same red pill, get this political shit out of our subculture rhetoric that I'm also doing. I encourage other creators to start standing up to these ugly goblins that are forcing us to listen to them, to believe what they believe in order to continue enjoying the subculture, because it's in their sweaty, fat hands, and they won't let us get to it until we're like, oh yeah, Antifa's great. We should have more ideological weirdos in schools. Get them while they're young. Yeah. Once I see that you're doing this, once I see there are people within the alternative subcultures like myself trying to be more free-thinking, more ironically inclusive, and trying to get rid of this crap out of the subcultures, people will see this, and I will see you, and then I will start making sure more people see you. There's a
just trying to break it up a little bit on account of the thing. Yeah. We'll get through this here pretty quickly, but what he's this whole thing about like ideological weirdos in schools and all that shit that he just said, he's 100% right about that. And this is coming from a guy who in 99% of his videos is in full fucking goth makeup. He's not here. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Because he's not wrong.
But, and correct me if I'm wrong here, doesn't that suppose that he takes the goth culture less serious than the conversation he's having now?
I don't think it does.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
I mean, the gravity of the wider conversation, I think, does override any specific subculture. Because this isn't something that's plaguing a specific group, it's plaguing everyone. So if you put on the trappings of your group in a way that is off-putting to another group, they're more likely to not listen to you than if you present as a more recognizable and, for lack of a better word, normal individual.
Conformity.
Yeah, there are at times you must compromise on certain things in order to achieve a greater objective. And in the context of this, the ability to freely celebrate for him being goth, compromise for this moment, for this video, compromising on that, I think makes a level of sense. So I would say, due to the severity of the problem, he kind of did.
Fair enough. Moving on.
Noted.
Aid function on YouTube now. Didn't realize it was there. I can utilize that, for example. I'm doing this on my own so far, but if there's more people out there doing it too, I'm more than happy to support them. I'd love to have more people to collaborate with. Together we are strong. If we unify against this crap, then we might just stand a chance. Look, the leftists so far have made sure that they will never see the inside of the White House again. It is over for them for quite some time. So while the boys in the government are currently cleaning up and scraping off the barnacles of hatred, let's do the same here. Let's do the same here in the subcultures. Let's get rid of these wackos, these psychos, these narcissistics.
We've been doing that for 7 years, bro. Me and you what, 5 years, me 6 years? We've been doing exactly what he's talking about. Not speaking hard enough to have us thrown out, but just hard enough to have everybody's eyes raised like, how are they still here? That's me, that's you, that's Abe. I mean, he wasn't here then. He was just an eggier egg than he is now. But even Shadow of Hawk, he tries.
Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong? I mean, I was put on a list.
I agree with you. We have been doing this for a while.
Anti-woke. I was put on a list called the anti-woke channel list. And I know who put me on it, and I know who put it together, and it's all BS. But I was on the list.
Yeah, I think you're right. We have been doing this for a while, but we've also been kind of doing it one-on-one. You know, I mean, yeah, we've had our little niches and our immediate circles and all that stuff, but there's nothing anywhere near on the level of the organization that it is taken to infiltrate everything on the left or from the left.
Because this is grassroots.
I think I worded that stupidly, but you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, we got what you're saying.
Just to give you an example, right? I've been fighting against this kind of bullshit for over 20 years, literally in the streets. I've campaigned for political parties and NGOs and things like that that wanted to stop everything that has now become true in Britain. Like, we are on the cusp of becoming a fucking nightmare state. And it's going to affect every aspect of our culture. Completely, from top to bottom.
Hoping we have the opportunity, and I'm sorry, Abe. I'll say it again. I'm sorry, Abe. I'm hoping we'll have the opportunity to point at the UK and Canada and Australia
and Australia
not to do that.
Yeah. It's happening right now.
Oh yeah, Jake here's in the same boat you are. He lives in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Fortunately for the Irish, no one wants that island.
No,
not raise up
not Ireland. Northern Ireland. It's part of the UK.
Yeah, I know.
Do
parts of Ireland were parts of England and parts of Norway and parts of Denmark for a long period of time. The Irish always drove them out.
I am telling you, right? Yeah, but right now, how goes London? How
Shadow,
goes Westminster?
just stop it.
So goes Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Sanctimonious fools, and instead just reform everything back to the way it was before. Defined walls between your own personal beliefs and opinions and discussing the core values of these subcultures, because these two things should not ever mix. Ever. As we've seen, it only creates division, and I am against division. Goth is for everyone. I'm going to make sure of that. And even if you're a conservative or a MAGA or whatever, it doesn't really matter. I don't care. Find out what you are. If you like goth stuff, great. I will talk to you all day about it. I'm not going to ask you if you thought Hitler was great before we start talking, because quite frankly, I don't give a shit. I mean, we all saw how they acted, man. This is not going to be fucking easy. We all saw how they acted during BLM. Black Lives Matter. Yeah, that. The only thing Black Lives Matter did was several $1 million worth of criminal vandalism and damage to public property. Oh, a bunch of people did scam it, though. That was quite interesting to find out. A lot of those GoFundMes went to people getting mansions.
Mostly the top 3 people who ran that organization.
Yeah.
Right. And if you dig deeper, you just find more scams.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing was right.
Hey, scams all the way down.
Yep.
Just like the fucking
I'm gonna be a
fucking I'm
gonna be a fucking dick. I think he's too soft with his maybe it's because he's on YouTube, but I think he's not extreme enough. The insert thing here is for everyone, I don't care, is why we're here now.
You don't think Mengele was extreme enough?
Separate issue.
I'm just saying.
Drop the fucking You got on me about the smart ass quips. The reason why we're dealing with this shit is because we didn't get gatekeep. Well, I mean, I'm too young to have dealt. Not saying I didn't have a fuck. I'm just not gonna. My point being, going X thing is for everyone, and allowing anyone in with going as long as you keep your bullshit out of this area, we're fine. Is why we're here now, because people will go, oh, we're totally keeping our bullshit out until they're in a position strong enough to kick you out. This is just going to be a repeat of what happened the last 20 years the moment you let your guard down again, which is why I think he's not extreme enough.
I hear what you're saying, but the point he's trying to make is depoliticize everything. Refuse to go to the mat. Refuse to engage on that level. Refuse to acknowledge that part because this is a subculture, not a culture. Right? This is alternative, not mainstream, and politics is mainstream, and be anti-political in your subcultures. Or did I miss something?
No, I think you're dead on.
That's it.
How do you keep the mainstream out without identifying if they're trying to bring the mainstream in? Anyone can be goth. Not everyone is able to, is the point that I would make with this. Anyone has the opportunity, but not everyone will be. And that's the mindset you need to have going forward. Otherwise, the last 20 years are going to repeat ad fucking nauseum.
Yeah. Okay, I see the logical implications of what you're trying to go for there. And I'm not going to say they're wrong. But at the same time, like, we're talking about a musical community. Principally, right? You don't need politics in music. You don't need politics in the subcultures that arise from it.
It's very simple. It's if you have you can have political music, but that doesn't make music political.
Exactly, yeah. And if you want to be part of a subculture of political music, you can do that. Yeah. But just don't try and spread it to everything else.
Yes. That's the ideal we want. And if everyone thought like that, we wouldn't have had the last 10 years. My point is we've identified that there are people who are incapable of that kind of thinking. And to simply go, well, we beat them, they'll never do this again, is going to repeat the next 20 years.
No, I think that's true.
Pandora's box
I think
is
that's
open.
not. Stop, Shadow. Stop. Like, we get your point. It's not that. It's not. It's obviously that's going to be a recurring theme because it's a recurring human theme throughout fucking history. There's always going to be enemies at the fucking gate. Always. Right. Yeah. The odds are down the road people are going to get complacent and it's going to happen again. Maybe it's the fucking far right this time, or maybe it's some other group we haven't fucking foreseen yet. Yeah,
it's
you got a point. We're not talking about then. We're talking about right now.
Yeah,
right. Which we also need to get to the rest of this video because Sasquatch is about out of time. So, and there's only like a minute left.
And it's not always that you need to grind your enemy under your heel. You don't have to destroy them and debase them from the face of the earth. You merely have to place them in their place.
Hilariously ironic. Oh, when a white woman died, stabbed in the neck, savagely, brutally. And in the wake of Charlie Kirk, what have we seen? Have we seen property damage? Have we seen righteous retribution, killings? Have we seen people pouring into the streets to tear shop owners' shop fronts down, to loot and steal and stab? No, we haven't, have we? If it wasn't clear to you before, it should be crystal clear to you now. We are not the same. Left and the right, left in the middle, they're not the same. Let's make goth great again, shall we? Join my Discord. There's already a bunch of really incredible free thinkers in there who are able to disagree with each other. So get in there. I want to see more creators out there spreading the message. It's getting red-pilled out there, folks. Catch you next time.
All right, I'm going to drop this, and then I'm going to make a statement, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes. I don't accept the red pill doctrine because it accepts that you have been victimized by someone without your own knowledge and that you can't control it. I don't believe that you can't control it. I think once you realize who, what, when, where, and why they're victimizing you, it is possible to take steps to prevent it.
Sure, I can agree with that. I've always had issues with kind of I don't want to say issues. I've had an issue, I guess, with the red pill, blue pill analogy because I think it's apt in a lot of ways. I think it just gets my biggest problem with it is that when somebody says red pill these days, you don't know what exactly they're fucking talking about. Is it MGTOW? Is it politics? Is it what is it? What are you applying that to? Or is it just the general red pill or what the fuck are you talking about? Right.
They could legit just be really big Matrix fans.
Right?
You have, because language exists to like quantify something very simple and precise. You don't need to encapsulate, you don't need to define what a tree is. You don't need to go through the full Webster definition of what a tree is every single time you want to talk about a tree. You just say tree. But when different people start using the word for different things, you get this shit with the red pill, where we no longer know what the fuck it means because everyone's using it because it once meant something that we could all agree with, but because it's drifted, it's like freedom. What the fuck does freedom mean? 6 different people, 6 different answers.
I think in the case of freedom, that's always been the case, though.
I remember
when the definition of freedom is entirely subjective.
At one point, when the word freedom was first uttered, it had a clear definition, and then now it doesn't, because it's used by different people for different reasons.
We can't even agree on who first uttered it, though, can we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like the term woke, for example, right? I remember when I very first heard that, and it was decades ago, and it just seemed to be like a term for, especially people in the black communities of the US, of just being politically aware of a lot of the shit that was going on. And then it just morphed over time into this weird fucking monster. So there's no clear definition of that anymore.
You know what was really funny about that is that the monster that it morphed into was done to it at the hands of the very people that it was supposed to be warning you against.
Yeah.
White liberals.
Yeah.
Commies.
Yeah, same shit, different stick.
Now, white liberals is a very specific tool that they use, but it's not all they are.
Yeah.
Same as feminists. Feminists are a tool.
Oh yeah, of communists.
Yes, like I said.
Yeah, basically,
commies are the problem. We got to get the commies out, and that's the same thing that Jake there was saying too. He didn't specifically label them that. He did use the term leftists several times, right? But yeah, same problem. Same problem.
Right.
Commies are inherently jealous people. They want your
shit,
hold on,
Sam.
But they don't want to have to work for it.
X is for everyone. I don't care about your politics, including commies. Or does that statement actually not apply when it comes to commies and thus doesn't actually apply?
Are you talking about the platform?
No. X as in like insert here, variable. So the point he was making about how something is about how goth is for everyone, anyone can be here so long as you keep your politics out. Commies have proven unable to do it.
Hey,
so does that mean?
See you, man.
So does that mean goth is not for everyone in that context?
I think that's kind of what he's
never
talking about.
was for everyone.
It isn't. It isn't for everyone.
That's the
not
whole
everybody.
point.
Like a lot of the times, people would get involved in it, and then they get into it, and they'd find things that were unsettling to them, right? And they didn't stick around, or they tried to change it from within, so it was no longer unsettling to them, which fucking alters it for everybody else. Right.
Yeah.
And when I say unsettling, I could mean like possibly anything at all. You know, it's like people who think that you not capitalizing the B in the word black is somehow a crime against all of humanity, which it's not, by the way, because black is not a race; it's a descriptor. It's not a nationality. It's not a proper noun of any kind.
No.
You know, just like I would say the same thing. People were capitalizing white, and some people fucking do, and they're retards too. You know?
Actually, Sam, it's white.
No, it would be if I had gone to Yale.
It starts with a H, followed by about 5 U's, and then white.
Yeah, I suppose if I had gone to like Cambridge or Yale or something, I'd be pronouncing it like that. But
oh fuck no, we speak actual English here.
I have heard upper crust English people put an H where an H does not belong.
They don't fucking speak English either. The German
Only
cunts.
the Americans speak proper American.
Shout out to my German friends.
We do actually speak proper American. It's Anyway, point is the fact is yes, we're gonna have to gatekeep, whether we like it or not. It doesn't matter how inclusive we imagine ourselves to be. There is going to have to be some gatekeeping. What I like about what Jake's talking about, what he's proposing there, is a kind of a unified front across subcultures. I would take it further myself. I would say across all subcultures, across all hobbies, everywhere, anywhere that used to be a place to escape to, or a place to relax, or a place to just kind of enjoy yourself and whatever it is that you're fucking into or whatever, that it no longer is. You can't. I mean, the whole point of any of this stuff, right? The whole point of coming into somebody else's subcultures and tearing it down and corrupting it and turning it into this ugly political thing is so that you have nowhere to go to get away from this shit. It is destroying escapism, and it's destroying escapism so that the political nature of everything, or what they describe to you as should be the political nature of everything, is constantly in your presence, constantly being fed to you, constantly in your face. You can't ever get away from it. It is your entire world. There is no escape from it. We saw the same shit with fucking Hollywood and entertainment, right? You can't get away from it, and they want to ensure that you cannot get away from it. And that's what he's talking about standing up against.
If you guys want a first-hand source, how Sam and Squatch and Abe and a bunch of people in the chat talk about how, back in the good old days, this was this and that was that, and we got to I didn't fucking get that. By the time I reached a point of actual consciousness and could start understanding things, this shit had permeated Star Wars. This shit had permeated G.I. Joe. This shit had permeated Transformers. I got into Warhammer. The first couple of things that I got involved in Warhammer with were fighting dumbasses over what this shit was. Yeah. I never got to experience the golden age of just celebrating things and enjoying things. I never fucking got that. And maybe that's why I fucking hate these bastards so much, because they took that for their own. I will sit down and I will just want to decompress from the world and not have to deal with anything. I will try to boot up a game I like, or I'll try to watch a show I like, and I sit here and there's always something that reminds me of politics.
Mm-hmm. The same shit rammed down your throat constantly, 24 hours a day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We get it, mate. We totally get it. Because we've seen that change.
That's actually exactly why I brought you up the other day, is because you are living a version of this.
Yeah.
Right now. A version of this corruption, this insipid desecration.
The fact, Shadow, that you're cognizant of it in any way, shape, or form gives me some sense of hope for the next few generations of people. Because if you're aware of it, you can do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would personally.
That takes, I don't know.
I'm personally not entirely hopeful, because the Christians before the Satanic Panic recognized something wrong was objectively wrong with society, and we know now that there was something wrong with society. Pedophiles run the government. Children are abused in Hollywood. We know there's evil shit going on, but that anger, that righteous fury, was redirected at something that didn't deserve that level of vitriol.
Yeah, it was redirected.
And then now you have Christians at the throats of everyone else, and everyone else at the throat of Christians, and no one's actually dealing with the actual problem. So maybe I'm just more pessimistic than you, Abe, but I don't see the fact that, hey, I can see the problem and I can see the solution as hope, because I know that my fellows are not able to. They see the problem. They don't recognize the solution. They don't recognize the target, and all they just need is a direction in the wrong way, and they'll fucking tear something down and create more problems.
Well, you know what? Modern problems require modern solutions.
Well, I think the different things are probably going to require solutions that are unique to them. Unfortunately, I think that you know, with the Warhammer stuff, like, you know, I mean, you guys, I know you two are specifically aware of what the Iron Age is. Maybe somebody in the chat doesn't know, but that's essentially what that is people stepping away from mainstream products like you know, collectibles or comic books or movies or novels or whatever, any kind of escapist entertainment, and they are building their own to put out there to because like you can't just tear something down or walk away from something and have nothing to replace it with unless you're willing to forgo it altogether, right? So the idea behind the Iron Age is that we're not just walking away from like Netflix in mass, like there's a very recent thing. Although I'm surprised that many people were still fucking on Netflix after Cuties 5 years ago, but whatever.
Yeah. It was French.
You gotta do something with that. Like, what was that that thing that Daily Wire was trying to put together? It was called like Bent Key or whatever. They were gonna do like children's programming and stuff. I don't think that's happening now, or if it is, it's like very low on the radar.
You know,
but the idea behind that, as much as I don't like the Daily Wire, the idea behind that was to provide a solution that wasn't filled with all the fucking crap, right?
Yeah.
And I can get behind that. And that was Iron Age.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Daily Wire were not the people to do that.
Well, they kind of imploded. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you shouldn't let a fucking narcissist who calls himself the God King be in charge of the pocketbook.
He wasn't really, but we're not going to get into that. But my point is they were the Bent Key thing or whatever was a good idea, right? It doesn't mean that it's not still a good idea. It just maybe didn't work out with them. You got other people out there, people we know, you know, producing their own comic books. You know,
there's the Rippaverse, which is like the big one, which is trying to, you know,
right,
like,
and they're going to get into publishing
Marvel,
other
DC
people's shit too, as well. And yeah, and that's probably the most successful example we can point to, because obviously Hollywood didn't just fucking build itself overnight. You know, like you're talking 100 years of establishing itself, right? So, which you know is fine. You got to start somewhere, right? But the idea is to build something that hasn't been infiltrated, to build something you can gatekeep, because it's too late for most of the rest of that shit. You know, you yourself, Shadow, you know people who are making their own fucking tabletop games.
I know of people. The specific person I do know is working on video games, but yeah, I get the point.
Sure, but you know, as a replacement or an alternative, even to the stuff that's going on with the established tabletop stuff, right? Which has a huge fan base, but like, hey, maybe they don't all like the shit that's going on with this, so here's an alternative, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
Actually, yeah, and actually in that regard, like, yeah, what was it?
Parallel economy, I think, is the idea.
Yeah, no, and actually, the existence, like the mass proliferation of 3D printers and like rapid transmission of information over the internet has actually allowed those parallel economies to blossom. Like, I got a buddy who started a side business making BattleTech stuff, because the BattleTech company is so hated by so many people that they don't, like, it's not even a case of I want to buy the minis and ignore it. They don't even want to buy the books anymore, but they still love the universe. And so if you could find a way to get the stuff without giving the company a dime, people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's, to make a very selfish analogy here, and probably a piss poor one, take this show. Take this show, for example. This show is here free for everybody to watch. The only people who have access to the panel, however, are all included in a very exclusive DM room. Everybody who's in there is in there because I want them in there, but I don't add everybody into it. Right?
Yep.
And that's gatekeeping. It is. It 100% is. You know, and I'm not the only one who does it. I'm just using that as an example. But it's just like, I don't run open panels. And I don't run open panels for a reason. You know, we do occasionally have guests on the show who are not in the private message groups, right?
Yeah.
It does happen, but like that's usually kind of a one-off thing, or maybe even a recurring thing. It just kind of depends on the situation and the person and all that stuff. But everybody who's in there is in there because there are people in there who haven't said a fucking word in that chat in like 2 years. Because I also don't kick people out, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But it's a microcosmic and very piss poor example of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Very, very poor. It's a terrible analogy. I apologize. I shouldn't have brought that up because that doesn't make any fucking sense. The more I think about it, that sounds dumb. So
No, it makes perfect sense. Gatekeep your communities, folks.
Aaron, Laura? No. Oh.
Boy, am I glad he's gone. Jeez, I'll talk now.
Oh, I didn't see his prep chat. Yeah, he dropped out.
Gatekeeping in action.
That's how it works, folks. It works just like that. You just get the spurgs out.
Right. For those who are interested, his link is in the description below, although he hasn't put any new shit out in quite a while and probably won't because he's very busy with real life. So if you want to see him, here's probably the best place when he shows up. So
yeah.
All that. But yeah, no, that's really all I was kind of getting at. And I think that Jake there has I think he's onto something. I'm just not sure what yet or how it's going to shake out in the end. But I think I agree with him overall.
I don't disagree with him. I just disagree with the concept of applying a pill to it.
Sure. However, that
if you take away the pill, then you're just red, and that's even worse.
Well, this is totally off fucking topic. But do you know what one of my very favorite quotes from Clive Barker ever was? It was in the Books of Blood. People are like books. Wherever they're opened, they're read.
Right.
Fucking hell. That is such a dad joke.
Yeah, made by a Liverpudlian in a horror collection.
Fucking Scousers, man. God damn it.
Like I said, had nothing to do with anything. Just popped into my head. I had to get it out there. No Spurgs left. No. We talked about this. You're not invited because you fucking hate panels and you make it very, very, very clear that you don't want to be on the panel when you are on one.
It's so weird. It's like a self-own of his own design, and you can't make it not happen.
Yeah, Shadu had to go. He had some obligations offline that were calling his attention. So, and speaking of, we're about at that point too. So, I think we covered everything I wanted to cover today, and then some. And I'm happy about it. I'm happy with the show for the most part.
So now,
sorry, I lost my shit earlier, Joe Cole.
Now can I go into my full obsession about Sulawesi?
I mean, I guess we're about to leave. So
I'm joking, but it would take 20 minutes, and you'd end up going. But I don't know anything about that. But anyway, Sulawesi coming soon.
So let's do the things. Abe, begin your
I'll be back in
inordinately long list while I take a piss.
Just go to my Twitter. Abe's gonna get you. It's gonna be easier. I tweet out everything I'm gonna be on. So
cool. He's on all kinds of shit. His YouTube link is in the description below. His Twitter is Abe's gonna get you, where you can find pretty much anything he's ever gonna do.
Abe's gonna get you everywhere, basically. Check out my channel on Rumble. Abe's gonna get you.
Nope. And I will insist that you plug your show with Jack.
Oh, the Jack and Abe show on Tuesday. Yeah. Well, that would be 5:30 p.m. EST, I think. Come join us. and listen to us talk a massive load of bollocks for about 3 hours or so. Yeah.
It gets messy.
We do little games where, you know, what's behind the hole, which is a glory hole.
Is that like Dick or Dildo?
It's the other way around, but yes.
Yeah, it's from the other side, and well, you know, we move the screen around and we give the audience a little bit of time to guess what's behind the glory hole.
This is making me uncomfortable.
I need to talk to Jack Tarlad. I need to find out if he's seen Glorious.
Oh, that's a good question, actually. Yeah. I'll ask him.
Please do. Yeah. Please do. I haven't talked to Jack in a minute. Tell him I said hello. He's a good dude.
Will do.
All right, Sasquatch, what do you got coming up?
Sunday, I have the Blast Radius, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's with Captain Curmudgeon. Wednesday, I have the Naughty Corner with Ajot. That is 8 p.m. Eastern Wednesday. I don't have a guest for Thursday yet, but I'm working on it. I did The Devil Made Me Do It this past week. That was tons of fun. I enjoyed it. And then I think after that, I'm either back here or there may be some Powdered Dusty activity. I don't know. I got nothing on that front.
Fair enough. Fair enough. As for like I said earlier about Shadu, he's mostly here these days when he shows up. But I fully expect and am gonna be demanding actually that he get back to content creation at some point, because I think that some of the things he was doing was really, really incredible, especially his writing stuff. He's got a Ko-Fi page and all that stuff. I don't have the link for it right now, but or Coffee or whatever the fuck you call that website. I don't know. I don't publish on there, but anyway, he does.
Ko-Fi, Coffee, whatever.
He's a writer, and I think he needs to get back to fucking doing that shit, frankly. But otherwise, yeah, you can find him here and all that stuff. As for me, if Amira does a show tonight, she doesn't have anything up yet, so I don't know if she's going to or not. But if she does a show tonight, I'll probably be over there. Well, I definitely will be if she's up. But if she's not, then I'm going to be doing something else. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, keep an eye out for there's something new coming on the Renaissance Nerds channel that I think I'm going to be invited to or whatever down the road. I'm not sure if I don't even have all the details for it, so I probably shouldn't even said anything. But yeah, keep an eye on his channel. Also, go watch his channel. He does some good stuff.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, mostly game streams coming up. We'll probably do a few more Omega runs, maybe Omega Savage for Monster Hunter in the next week. We're also going to be getting back into Blood Omen. And then we've got Abyssal Musings next Friday. We'll be back with that. We're 2 episodes away for 150th episode of that show. And then, yeah, Beelzepub over on Beelzehub. Right back here for more Screaming Into the Void next week. So we'll see y'all then. Thank y'all for coming. Thanks to everybody on the panel. You guys have been awesome. Everybody in chat. Carrie, especially good to see you, man. Whether you like it or not, it's good to see you. And all that. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for everything. It's been a great show. Remember, folks, it could always be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.